What's going on? Welcome to What's in It for the Black People Media Radio Network presents Trigger with Instructor Mike Brown. I am your host, Instructor Mike Brown. We want to welcome you to this show. And don't forget to support great media content from What's in It for the Black People Radio Network, Media Network. Let's go on ahead and run right into it. We're going to talk about, are we ready? What does that even mean? Are we ready? Well, are we ready? You know, we looked at a couple of things, and it wasn't just a couple, but it was a few controversial things that took place this past weekend, where you see Kyle Rittenhouse, which was the 17-year-old white male from Antioch, Illinois, who went to or was driven to Kenosha, Wisconsin, to or said to be protecting communities and things like that, and I guess a car lot, where he was subsequently dealt with by some of the Black Lives Matter protesters that were down there. And it seemed to be, I guess it's a cross between peaceful protests or whatever the case might have been. It was a cross between that. But where we come in, the rest of social media, we begin to see the video where Kyle is then walking away from some people who were, walking after him. He was said to have shot somebody. And then we see Kyle come under attack, be it an apprehension or whatever the case may be. We see Kyle come under attack, where he then, from a seated position, after being knocked down with a skateboard, from a seated position, he then shot two more people, killing two and injuring one of the others. And so you hear all this social media, where people are like, oh my God, I can't believe it. He that's not even his community. What is he doing transporting a rifle across state lines? And look, you got your opinions, you got your questions. All of the questions are bona fide questions. You are entitled to ask those questions. But the question that I have as a professional firearms instructor, combat veteran, military veteran, stuff like that, law enforcement, is that if you look at the sudden rise in gun ownership, if you look at the rise, especially in the wake of George Floyd's murder by the police officer, and in the wake of other situations where police officers are involved, and you see a great deal of people now taking to arms in this belief that there will be some type of civil war, or white folks are just going to descend upon the black community and just get into a big skirmish where there's going to be a lot of weapons involved, and in the desire to want to protect yourself, I think we're missing the main point. And so I'm going to go on ahead and play this video so that you can see what he did, and then we'll talk about it. Here we go. Now let's look at this. I think that's important to look at when you see the video, and I had to play it again twice because I wanted you to see it from the beginning. So as you look at this video, and there were just choppy pieces of the video. Another video, there was a gentleman who had been rather controversial, and I'm going to show the video of the man who actually came in front of a lot of people and was saying, "You gonna shoot me N-word? You gonna shoot me N-word?" And so he had been the aggressor. He was actually the first person who was shot by Kyle Rittenhouse. Okay. And in that given situation, whether he was supposed to carry the rifle or not, have the rifle or not, that's another subject that's debatable. But if you took a look at that video, as he was approached by those people who, I guess in the sake of fairness, or for the sake of fairness, was trying to take him into custody because he did, in fact, just shoot someone. When accosted by those folks, he then did discharge his rifle in a rather seated position. And so let's ask ourselves the question, are we ready? I think that's a very important question to ask ourselves about that, because, you're focusing on him being 17 years of age. You're focusing on him being white, which is obviously the case. But what you're not focusing on is if he is only 17, and he's got that skill set and is able to, under that kind of pressure, where he's got people coming after him, shots are being fired, a plethora of people have guns, and he was able to operate under those circumstances. What does that say about you, who just got your AR-15 or your Glock 19 or your Glock 17 or your high-point pistol, and you can't even get over the sound of the gunfire on the range? I think the focus for us, if we're talking about what's in it for the black people, right? We could talk about and have opinions about that all day. But what does that do for you? What does that do to help you understand what you need to have to be able to defend yourself? If, in fact, the best defense is a good offense, then shouldn't you be not so offended at what you see? You're entitled to that, but learn the lesson from what he is doing. Now, what are you doing to get ready? Can you shoot from a seated position? Can you shoot in a situation where you've got a bunch of people coming at you? As one commenter said, if he was black, they would have fired hundreds of rounds into his body, but he's not. You're focusing in the wrong direction. So let's redirect. Let's refocus. What does that say about you? How many of you gun owners or people watching this program actually went out and got a gun and you haven't got any real training? What's in it for the black people should be self-defense. What's in it for the black people should be advocating the necessity to get hard fuck your feelings training. I said it. Hard fuck your feelings training. Some of you take my class and you're crying and I'm all in your ass because I'm drill instructing too hard. You can't take that and you're offended by what Kyle did. You're not ready. Triggering the fuck out of you today. You're not ready. So let's refocus. Because if insanity is repeating the same action and expecting a different outcome, what is emotional insanity? You're dead already. You're just waiting for the round to hit your body. And notice, none of the people who were killed were black. How about that? You missed that point. Is that not what's in it for the black people? I'm just saying. I'm wise enough and bold enough to say what you afraid to say. Didn't you get that from Bernie Mac? I'm just saying. So are we ready? When is the last time you've been to the gun range? When is the last time that you've actually tried the best you could to align yourself, not necessarily with the ideals and principles of certain white folk, if that's your thing, but when have you aligned yourself or made a friend with someone who has farmland so you can get out there on their range and learn the tactics that they learn. I said it before in the last show, and I will continue to say it. The FBI Behavioral Analysis Unit went to the prisons to actually talk to serial killers to learn how to profile serial killers. When are you going to actually learn? You talk about people like me. You call me all kinds of Uncle Tom, Coon, Sambo, all that stuff. Fine. Check that box. When are you going to humble yourself? Bring your ass so you can actually sweat and learn how to defend yourself. Because I'm telling you, no one's going to save you. You spend so much time talking about how Kyle was not a part of that community. You spend so much time talking about Kyle had no business running across state lines with that gun. Whether these are facts or opinions, I leave that to you. It's subjective. But say less of you running across to Indiana to a gun range to buy a gun to have it transferred across state lines. Say less of the fact that in Indiana, you can actually get more training if you align yourself, not necessarily with white principles, but with white people who share a commonality for self-defense. See, that's the one thing about racism. You deny yourself of a great opportunity to learn from people who know better than you when you are in your little proverbial black box. Call it what you will. Our ancestors died so we can have access. But if you deny yourself that access, who are you benefiting? The white man ain't thinking about you. They too busy trying to check their own bag. When are you going to do what you need to do so you can protect yourself? And I think you're missing the message. You're missing it. You're missing it. But the reaction of the world had to look, I'm just telling you, you need to go on ahead and learn. You need to go on ahead and learn. So I urge you, we're going to talk about some more because we've got more to look at. Okay, we got a couple of more. We're going to talk about Philando Castile. Yes, what you may have missed in that. I'm triggering the fuck out of you. Get your coffee, get what you need to get, and get some socks so you can throw it at the TV or your screen. Whatever you need to do to make yourself feel better, do it safely, effectively, because I'm going to trigger the hell out of you today because I'm tired of seeing your comments about BS and not redirecting it to what you can do to protect you and yours. This is Triggered with Instructor Mike on What's in It for the Black People Radio. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
I know you're going to dig this.
Mike Love and the Dig. Yeah, Mike Love and the Dig.
Go, Mike Love, I got a question. Hey, are you ready to go down? Here we go again.
It's all about the bad boys, baby.
Hey, what's up? This is Mike Love.
Hey, what's up? It's Diz.
Of Bad Boy Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. This ain't 1999, man.
Yeah, man. It's Chicago famous.
Say what?
We're old guys now.
Oh, I'm hurt. My back.
We are back starting September 8th.
Get ready, Chicago. That's right. We are coming back on the air.
3 to 6 p.m. on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Chicago famous.
Is it really a good idea to have the same senator for 3 generations? I support term limit for all elected officials. Our senators need to bring home growth for our business community, jobs, housing, service for our senior citizens, and health care. We need new ideas and new approach to federal representation. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington, D.C. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
This secure moment is brought to you by Secure Home and Automation, your premier authorized Bring security dealer. Home invasions occur every 23 seconds, fire every 85 seconds, and medical emergencies occur suddenly. In times like these, get secured home and automation and an affordable wireless home alarm system with professional monitoring. This includes fast emergencies response, free security analysis, free equipment, and free installation. A limited time offer, be proactive. Call today, don't delay. 708-251-5069. That's 708-251-5069. The first 10 callers receive a free camera valued at $250. Call now, 251-5069 or visit our website, securehomeandautomation.com. Secure Home and Automation, where your life safety is our priority. It brings authorized dealers. Certain restrictions apply.
WIFTBPM.
Fun guy.
Where's tomorrow?
Fun guy, what's up, baby?
What it do, baby?
Yeah, yo, what do you
You know what
know?
I'm saying? So I'll be telling you.
What's going on, Chicago? What's in it for the Black People Media presents?
I want to go higher. Oh, my God.
Call your sons, call your daughters, call your friends, call your neighbors.
The Big Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin. We got what you need right here on What's in it for the Black People Media.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. In my life, I've gone from cotton field to corporate boardroom. I've seen great success and walked many roads. I know how it feels not to have. I'm asking you to vote for me for U.S. Senate for the state of Illinois. I can do the work that few others may understand. A vote for me is a step in the right direction for our state and our country.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
All right, we are back. We are back. What's in it for the Black People Radio Media Network? I'm your host, Instructor Mike, and this is Triggered. All right, so let's go on ahead and get right to it. So, Black Guns Matter. Black Guns Matter. You better freaking know it. Black Guns Matter. So, Black Guns Matter founder, Maj Toure, I think I'm saying his name right. I hope I'm not botching his name up. He had a video where he was talking about the shooting of Philando Castile. And so we're going to play what he had to say about it, and then we're going to play the video, and then we're going to go on ahead and just discuss it. So let's go on ahead and watch. Here we go. All right. Yep. So I see your comments. Can't hear what's being said. We're gonna go on ahead and work on that. But in any event, in that we're talking about the Philando Castile traffic stop, and what's gonna happen is we're gonna give you some tips as to how to survive that traffic stop. That is something that's definitely important. Okay. And if you want to see the full video, you can always go to my YouTube page, Instructor Mike. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. Make sure that you like this page, the content that's on this page, the Maze Jackson page, What's in It for the Black People Radio Network. Go on ahead and hit those stars, because that type of support is what helps us continue to be able to create great content, not just this show, but Chicago Famous, the Bigs. I said what I said. So let's go on ahead and talk about it. So you've seen the video, and if you have not seen the video, I'm going to go on ahead and make sure that we could show it again. Let's go on ahead and try it. I want you all to see the video of the traffic stop, because it is important to talk about what occurred on there, okay? Very dramatic and controversial video that I'm about to show, but due to the graphic nature of what you're about to see, viewer discretion, of course, is advised. Let's go on ahead and play this, and then we'll definitely discuss it. Here we go.
Dashcam video shows the moment when Officer Geronimo Yanez stopped Philando Castile for a broken taillight last July. First, asking Castile for his license and registration. I have to tell you, I do have a firearm on me. Don't reach for it, though. Don't pull it out. Don't pull it out. Within 90 seconds of making the stop, the 29-year-old officer fired 7 shots. Castile's girlfriend, Diamond Reynolds, was in the passenger seat. She streamed the immediate aftermath on Facebook Live.
Told him not to reach for it. I told him to get his hand out.
You told him to get his ID, sir, and his driver's license.
All right. So in looking at that video, one thing that, and I hope you all were able to actually hear the video and see the video as well. One thing that I actually noticed in the video is that there was a reason for the traffic stop, that being a broken or inoperable taillight, the taillight on the driver's side rear. The running brake lights were on, but as soon as he was pressing the brake, those lights were off, okay? And so if you look at anybody's vehicle code, especially in the state of Illinois, anybody's vehicle code, that would be a bona fide reason to pull someone over, okay? Petty for you, but I want you to understand that the largest body of law where probable cause exists is in the vehicle code, because in route to or coming from a crime being committed, you have the vehicle or a method of transportation, and it's a way to interdict or intercept a person committing some type of crime. And unfortunately, it happens to be a situation or the law by which folks who do nothing but speed. I mean, who doesn't speed, right? People get pulled over. So I see a great interaction occurring between them two. Neither party was disrespecting the other person. And Philando did a great thing by telling the police officer ahead of time that he did have a firearm and that he did have a license. Now, those of you all who were listening, what did the officer tell him? The officer told him not to reach. And this is why it is important for your instructor to tell you, not just for things when they are good, but for things when they are bad. And this is why I instruct my students, and I'm instructing you. Those of you all who are watching this, get your pens, get your paper out. You should have already freaking had it out, because if you know me, you know you're in class, and I'm about to teach that ass. So here we go. Number one, as soon as they turn on the lights, turn on your interior lights. I know it sounds stupid as shit. You know what else sounds stupid? Death. So if you don't want this stuff to happen, heed my advice. As a former cop who was one of those, as y'all call in the hood, thirsty ass cops that will pull you over for everything, wasn't dirty, just thirsty as hell, okay? I'm telling you what I would look for. Turn on your interior lights. Why? Most police officers are killed in traffic stops. We don't know what's in the car. You know what's on us. Turn on your interior lights, right? Then pull over to a safe area. If you feel that you're about to be one of those ones that's about to get killed by the police, one, you probably should call 911. Tell them you're about to be pulled over. You don't know if the person is a police officer or not. That would help you, right? It would show that this is not an attempt to flee, but an attempt to verify that you're not being pulled over by a police impersonator, okay? Because they're out there, right? Next thing, you pull over to a safe area. When you do, roll down your window. Now, you can go on ahead and do that little quarter-inch roll if you want to. Trust me, if we want to get in that window, we're getting in that window. We're getting in that window. So save yourself the insurance claim, roll that window down, because one way or another, we're getting in there if we want to get in there, okay? Now, when you roll that window down, put your hands on the steering wheel on 11 with your palms facing you. You can go ahead and tell me how stupid this is, but if you're Muslim, you're used to praying like this anyway. Yes, I just triggered you. Okay? So, put your palms towards you. Why? Because in police training circles, if you've never been to a police academy or you've never been through police training, you may not know this. But in police training circles, it is said if the palms are facing the officer, we are trained. Now, whether a person does this or not is another thing. But we're trained. This person does not have a weapon in their hands. You just bought yourself some credit. Because the angle of approach, the officer will see your hands before they ever see your body. Here we go. Now, next thing, when the officer talks to you, I know you want to be treated with respect. Stop expecting people to treat you how you want to be treated. Some of y'all get treated like shit by your family, and yet you're still around them. You respect yourself enough to maintain control of your emotions and your behavior so you can survive the encounter. I know we want to live in a world where everything is equal. I know we want to live in a world where we get treated like respect. But some of you all who are spade players, you're at the same table with a different hand of cards from the same fucking deck. And just because I have what appears to be a losing hand doesn't mean I'm going to lose. It's all about how you maintain calm, watch what the other person is doing so you can get the advantage from your disadvantage. That's why I love being black. I love it that I'm getting from both sides. I get it from the white folks. I get the negativity from the black folks. And still in all, I fucking rise. Tell me about that hand. Moving on. Now, when they come to you, treat them like a human. You know, that whole thing for some of you biblical scholars, treat a person as you'd want to be treated. I guess that's in the Bible or something. I don't know, right? Treat a person as you would want to be treated, right? So I'm going to have a conversation with you because I know you're human. And hopefully you have a conversation with me because I know that, right? It's an interaction. I don't know what you just came off of. You don't know what I just came from, right? So let's treat each other with respect. And even if you treat me with disrespect, I respect me enough to understand it's about survival. It's about survival. So here we go. It's time to go for a break. Maybe just a little bit longer. All right. But when we come back, okay, we're going to focus. We're going to focus. We're going to focus and redirect our attention back to these traffic stops. Okay. Continuing. I just want to mention this. The break isn't yet. I'm triggering you guys already. Look at y'all about to walk away, cuss me out, call me a whole bunch of other stuff. I know it, okay? Secondly, or next, what you want to do is after you're pulled over, okay, and you begin to have a conversation with that person, of course, I want you to think, what does this officer need to complete his job? We know he needs your driver's license. We know he needs your proof of insurance. We know if you got a concealed carry license, whether you have it or not, they're going to ask you about whether or not you have that card on your person because that's a condition for you to be able to carry. So you should, being the smart people that we are, you should anticipate that these are the things that you need to have ahead of time and have them where they are in your current area that you control, okay? What is current area that you can control? Mike, it's in my glove box. Mike, it's in my armrest. Mike, it's in my visor above my head. Mike, it's on the seat. Mike, it's in a little plastic sleeve. We're going to talk about all of those and whether or not those are areas where you should have those documents. And I'm going to tell you why what you think you know, you don't know, and what we look for when we approach the vehicle or even before we approach the vehicle. All right. This is What's in It for the Black People Media. This is Triggered. I am your host, Instructor Mike. Some of you all may call me that motherfucker Mike. That's fine. If that's what you call me, I'll take that as long as you're listening. Okay. Some people like to like what they hear instead of learning from what they've heard. My job as an educator is to put that dot on your brain so that when life shoves that pencil in your hand, you'll have a dot to connect. More on those dots after this.
This secure moment is brought to you by Secure Home and Automation, your premier authorized Bring security dealer. Home invasions occur every 23 seconds, fire every 85 seconds, and medical emergencies occur suddenly. In times like these, get secured home and automation and an affordable wireless home alarm system with professional monitoring. This includes fast emergencies response, free security analysis, free equipment, and free installation. A limited time offer, be proactive. Call today, don't delay. 708-251-5069. That's 708-251-5069. The first 10 callers receive a free camera valued at $250. Call now, 708-251-5069, or visit our website, securehomeandautomation.com. Secure Home and Automation, where your life safety is our priority. It brings authorized dealer certain restrictions.
Fun guy. Where's tomorrow? Fun guy, what's up, baby? What it do, baby? Yeah, yo, what do you know?
I'll be telling you.
What's going on, Chicago? What's in it for the Black People Media presents?
I want to go higher. Oh my God.
Call your sons, call your daughters, call your friends, call your neighbors.
The big Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin. We got what you need right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Is it really a good idea to have the same senator for 3 generations? I support term limit for all elected officials. Our senators need to bring home growth for our business community, jobs, housing, service for our senior citizens, and health care. We need new ideas and new approach to federal representation. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington, D.C. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Back to What's in It for the Black People Media presents Trigger with Mike Brown. Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, or you can find them online at www.solobeautysupply.com. What's in it for the Black People Media is going to change the way you see radio forever. That's because on Tuesday, September 8th, Chicago Famous with Mike Love and Diz is joining the What's in It for the Black People Media family. Tune in every day from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. for Chicago Famous with Chicago radio legends Mike Love and Diz. They'll talk everything from music, entertainment, sports, politics, race culture, and everything happening today. Plus, they'll take you back to the old school for some of the features and interviews that you've loved. That's right, it's Chicago Famous with Mike Love and Diz every weekday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. only on What's in It for the Black People Media, Chicago Famous. All right, here we go. And don't forget Toussaint and Herb. They're coming up next with I Said What I Said, a great show. Up next, make sure you hang around for I Said What I Said with Herb Howard and Toussaint Warner. Again, only on What's in It for the Black People Media. All right, let's get back to it. I think I've triggered you enough. Nope. Let's go again. All right, so we're going to recap on, for those of you all who just joining us, we're going to recap on the Philando Castile traffic stop where Philando Castile, a Minnesota resident was shot and killed by a police officer, Officer Yanis, on a traffic stop. And we're going to talk about the lessons that need to be learned from that situation, okay? So one, when the police officers pull you over, you need to make sure that you turn on your interior lights. Why? When you turn on your interior lights from a position of darkness, that's what creates fear. So buy yourself some credit and have some empathy for, I guess, the one who you think doesn't have empathy for you. That communication goes both ways. Turn on your interior lights. It says, I have nothing to hide. That's the image you want to present, okay? Now, whether or not you have something to hide, that's a you thing. If you got a brick in the trunk and you got other stuff in the car, I guess you got something to worry about, right? All right. Then when you pull over, put your hands on 11. If you think about a steering wheel like a clock, put it on 11 o'clock with your palms facing you. The angle of approach, which the officers approach the vehicle, they see your hands before they see your face. You buy yourself more credit. Okay, when the roll down the window, when the officers begin to talk to you, just have a conversation. You don't have to like them. Just answer the questions. If they ask you, do you know the reason why you were why I pulled you over? Whether you want to say anything about yes, I know, no, I don't. That's a you thing. I leave that to you. But obviously, they need your driver's license and proof of insurance. And if you have a concealed carry license, you are also required, pursuant to 430 ILCS 66, which is the Illinois Concealed Carry Act, you have to have that card on you. So where should you get those documents from? Some ladies like to hide their identification in the First and Second National Bank. You know what that is. I'm not saying what that is. You get it. And then some ladies like to hide it in the purse, or some people like to hide it in the visor. Gentlemen, you like to hide your credentials or keep your credentials in your wallet, which could be in your pocket, or in Philando's case, in a book bag. Well, I'm telling you, here's the rule of thumb. If a gun could be there, don't you take your ass there. I'll repeat it again. If a gun could be there, don't you take your ass there. First and Second National Bank, ladies, born with them, different sizes, ranging from A through Z. Whatever cups, who knows? Look, do women hide large things in there? It depends on the cup size, I guess, right? And they have bra holsters. I said it, bra holsters. So you're making for a case where if you're reaching in there, the officer may, depending upon the experience and the level of fear, shoot. If your hand goes there and a gun can be there, don't you take your ass there. What about the visor? It's a toss-up. The hand is still disappearing, right? What about the glove box? A gun could be in there too. What about the armrest? Yeah, a gun could be in there too. What about your book bag? Want me to repeat it again? That's right. A gun could be there too. So if a gun could be there and your hand has to disappear, don't you take your ass there. So what do I recommend for my students? Well, since you're the one who wants to carry a firearm, right? Remember that deck of cards, the disadvantage that you have? Sometimes you're going to have to change certain things. So what I tend to recommend is, with my hands on 11, officer, my credentials are around my neck. May I reach slowly and get them? Sure, no problem. Now, I'm reaching slowly to get it. I'm taking my two thumbs and I'm pulling from right here around my neck, right? The two chains or the two strings. I'm pulling up. I'm grabbing those credentials. I'm taking those credentials off. The officer can still see my hand. If I have to turn my head, the officer can still see my hand. My hands are in view and I'm moving slowly. When I take them off, I give the whole thing to the officer. It has my driver's license, proof of insurance, and my concealed carry and FOID cards. Why? It's all in one thing. He can then begin, or she can then begin to reach inside of there to grab the documents they need. And when they give it back to you, they can give it back to you intact, or all with the documents on top and then the carrier underneath. Do not put your hand in a position where it is out of sight. Out of sight creates fright. Out of sight creates fright. If your hand has to disappear there, don't you take your ass there, okay? I'm telling you. Now, some of y'all are like, Mike, I ain't going through all that. I shouldn't even have to do all that. I'm going to go on ahead and tell the officer where it is and ask their permission, and then I'm going to go on ahead and move toward that direction. Okay, if the officer tells you that it's okay for you to do that, just because they gave you the permission to move in that direction does not mean that the level of apprehension that they have in believing that you are about to shoot them is going to lower. That just means you told them the direction that they're going to go in. I've been lied to before. I've been shot at before with that same premise. Well, I'm going to go to the glove box. Meanwhile, your right hand is going towards the glove box and the gun is in the left hand right by the door, where as they're reaching, they're creating distance to pop, shoot you just like that. Training is the one thing that combats ignorance. And there are two kinds of ignorance: innocent ignorance and self-inflicted ignorance. Ignorance that's innocent, you never had a need to know about these things because you don't encounter them, they don't affect your life, whatever the case may be. But self-inflicted ignorance is when you have every reason to know and you don't educate yourself because of perhaps maybe theory fixation bias. What's theory fixation bias? You only look for the information that supports your agenda. You only look for the information that supports what you believe, and you disregard everything else. You are blocking yourself from an opportunity to learn. Because if it is true that in all that getting, you get an understanding, then how much of an understanding are you getting when you're denying yourself the education that you can learn from perhaps what you term to be this other side? Isn't that also the definition of insanity? All these people killed by police, all these protests, all these things that you have been, we got to march, we got to do this. What have you gained? What have you learned? Because we're just repeating the same action, adding to the hashtags. Is that what's in it for the black people? Insanity, repetition, or what about defense? What about knowledge? What about not always liking what you hear, but learning from what you've heard? I want to see, in this day and age, with all these camera phones and all this social media, I want to see the videos of the traffic stops from the beginning, like we did see in this case. And it was from the dash cam video. It wasn't even from the young lady that was in the car. God bless her. As soon as it happened, she went live. But I want to see from the beginning of the traffic stop, because that full video is what got the officer acquitted. That's what got the officer acquitted, because he told you don't reach. If, in fact, the wages of sin is death, doesn't always mean you have to die. There are several deaths. But if the wages of sin is death, what about disobedience? What about failing to listen? We gotta start somewhere. And I'm going to keep triggering you until you unfuck your fuck. This is Instructor Mike, and we'll be right back with Triggered on What's in It for the Black People Media Radio.
Is it really a good idea to have the same senator for 3 generations? I support term limit for all elected officials. Our senators need to bring home growth for our business community, jobs, housing, service for our senior citizens, and health care. We need new ideas and new approach to federal representation. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington, D.C. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
What's up? This is Mike Love.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Diz.
Sounds like Bad Boy Radio.
Yeah, but it's not Bad Boy Radio, because we are now Chicago famous, but we are back on the air.
3 to 6, Monday through Friday, starting September 8th.
All right, you tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody it's going down. Not only will you hear us on air, but you'll be able to see us as well, and that's all going down September 8th from 3 to 6.
What's in it for the Black People Media? Make sure you check us out.
Chicago famous.
This secure moment is brought to you by Secure Home and Automation, your premier authorized Bring security dealer. Home invasions occur every 23 seconds, fire every 85 seconds, and medical emergencies occur suddenly. In times like these, get secured home and automation and an affordable wireless home alarm system with professional monitoring. This includes fast emergencies response, free security analysis, free equipment, and free installation. A limited time offer, be proactive. Call today, don't delay. 708-251-5069. That's 708-251-5069. The first 10 callers receive a free camera valued at $250. Call now, 708-251-5069, or visit our website, securehomeandautomation.com. Secure Home and Automation, where
What's
your
up, good
life
people? You're
safety
listening
is
to
our
I Said What I
priority.
Said with Tucson Warner and Herb Howard. You'll never breed a warrior.
Warriors, come out to play.
You hear that? And that's what's happening at every angle. They're creating paradigms where we can only raise feminine men. Whether they're homosexual or not, they feminine as shit.
Sure, because all masculinity is toxic.
All masculinity is
Right.
toxic in a war-torn society where the dominant society is saying to your ass, we don't never want no warriors.
Right.
You bastards.
Any book you've ever read, you can read the Bible, goddammit. When they go and they destroy some shit, they kill all the boy babies.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't even want you growing up to think you're gonna do some shit to me.
Animals do the same thing. If I come over here and I take over this village now or whatever, like this gonna be my pride. First thing I'm doing, killing the male boys, like killing the male
Don't
babies.
you
Like,
even grow up with no attitude,
Don't you
little
even
nigga.
think about it.
Ever.
Okay?
Bitch.
Yeah.
Right. You ain't my daddy, you damn right I ain't your daddy. Fuck your fort, little nigga.
Fuck your boy. That's fucked up. Oh man, I hate that I laugh at this shit in public.
That's real.
I hate that I laugh at this stuff in public.
That's real though, right? Tucson Warner and Herb Howard live on What's in It for the Black People Media, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
WIIFTVPM.
All right, welcome back to What's in It for the Black People Media Network presents Trigger with Instructor Mike. I'm Instructor Mike. All right, so the second half of this, we are going to focus on concealed carry in Illinois, the concealed carry process, concealed carry training. If you got questions, even comments about the last stuff that we just talked about in the last segment, the phone lines are open, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. That number again, 872-259-7474. If you got questions about concealed carry, if you got questions about the board review process, if you got questions about concealed carry training, whatever your concealed carry questions are, go on ahead and give us a call. The phone lines are open. So for those of you all who are desirous to get your desirous of getting your concealed carry in the state of Illinois, that's what this second half focus is going to be on. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that you get trained. Of course, you need to meet certain requirements before you even consider getting training. You need to be 21 years of age, or at least somehow close to 21. I'm talking about 20 and a half, 3/4. You get it. You need to have no felonies in your background. Now, I want you all to understand that the difference between a felony and a misdemeanor is not specifically what you were charged for, but it's the sentence that you could be sentenced to. A felony is a crime where the sentence imposed ranges from death to 1 year or more in a state or federal level prison. A misdemeanor is a crime where the sentence imposed is 364 days in a county jail up to, okay? It could be a fine, it could be probation, whatever the case may be. For those of you all who have felonies in your background, it does not make a difference how long you have been convicted of that felony. If it is a felony and you have that conviction, you are unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because there are non-violent felonies as well, okay, that needs to be discussed too, but you are not able to get a concealed carry license. And one of the things that I suggest, shouts out to Cabrini Green Legal Aid and the Clerk of the Circuit Court's office for hosting the expungement seminars and other people that host expungement seminars. You need to get your record expunged. Okay, there are some felony cases where you can get them expunged. Okay, one of the things that I find in training people and dealing with the criminal justice field is that people are afraid to even try so that they can fail. You don't even know if you're going to be granted this expungement because you won't try. Because somebody had told you, well, what had happened was, and this is what happened to them. That is their case. I want you to understand that expungement is something that you are not entitled to, but it is something that you have to qualify for. And you need to go see the people at Cabrini Green Legal Aid to find out if your case is expungible and what, if anything, you need to do to try to get your case expunged, okay? Now, for certain people that have their record sealed, I want you all to understand the difference between sealed and expunged, okay? Expunged means that the court has granted that your whole case file be impounded at the clerk's office, only to be, resurrected by court order, and that the public and the criminal justice system will not see anything that occurred in that incident. In other words, it is expunged. It is cleared from your record. Sealed means the public can't see it, but the government, including the law enforcement officers and agencies, can. So if your record is sealed, you still have that felony conviction. You just can't apply for your concealed carry. It's just that sealing, in essence, is a benefit given to you so that you can apply for housing and other things whereby a public search of those records could prohibit you or limit you from being able to gain certain kinds of benefits afforded to people without criminal convictions, okay? So understand the two. Provided that you don't have a felony conviction, certain types of arrest within 5 years, certain types of DUI arrest, anything medical in certain respects as it relates to being developmentally disabled. There's a whole host of other qualifiers or disqualifiers that applies to you and your desire to want to get a concealed carry license, okay? Those of you all who have done things in your juvenile past, I know you may think that, well, I'm an adult now, it doesn't apply. That's not true. If, as a juvenile, you've done something that if you were an adult, it would result in a felony conviction and you were adjudicated delinquent, you might have some trouble trying to get a concealed carry license. I always advise you to consult the services of an attorney as it relates to your criminal background. Or you can do the simple thing. If you were arrested in Chicago, go to 3510 South Michigan, the City of Chicago Public Safety Headquarters, and get your Illinois rap sheet. Your Illinois rap sheet will show anytime you've ever been arrested in the state of Illinois, because they get it directly from the Illinois State Police Bureau of Identification, okay? If you were arrested outside of Illinois, you can see any Illinois licensed fingerprint vendor. I am one such vendor where we can fingerprint you, and you can get what's called Illinois Access and Review, where you're able to review your rap sheet for any arrest. And I want you to understand the arrest affects you just as much as the convictions, because the arrest is, in essence, kind of like a documentation of your alleged past behavior. Not actual, not factual, alleged, okay? Alleged behavior. And so that can be used against you in the concealed carry review process. There are so many people who hear me say this and they don't listen to me, and they end up coming back to me asking me questions. Mike, I'm under board review. Why am I under board review? Well, did you do what I asked you to do in terms of expunging that record? No. Well, that's why you're under board review, and I'll explain to you the process. Here we go. So after you take the 16-hour course, and it is necessary for you to take the 16-hour course, please be advised, there are people out there who are, I guess, snake oil salesmen. They will tell you, because they have a concealed carry instructor's credential, that, oh man, you don't have to sit through that whole 16 hours. I'm just going to tell you a couple of things, and then I'm going to go ahead and take you to the range. Pew, pew, pew. Here's your certificate. Wink. Don't say nothing. I'm telling you what's going to happen is they are going to piss somebody off, because those of us who are instructors, whether you have the greatest intentions or not, all 5-star ratings, you're going to piss somebody off. And the one thing I can tell you, having been through an Illinois State Police audit, is someone is always hating on your success. And it's easy for them to call the state police, write the state police, whatever, and make some kind of allegation where the state police will come down and audit your records to make sure you've been training the people the way you're supposed to. But that's not how it always works, though. You know how it always works? They send people. That's right. They send people to take your class and report back on what occurred in your class. So the person that you think, wink, wink, right, that you're helping could be the op that's going to turn you in to the doggone state police. And next thing you know, because you didn't go through the laborious 16 hours to actually earn the certificate the right way, what's going to happen is the Illinois State Police Firearm Services Bureau, they are going to revoke your license and that instructor's license and anyone else who he or she has trained. And what's going to happen is you are going to get that letter that's going to say, pursuant to Chapter 430 Illinois Compiled Statutes Act 66, Section 75, you did not complete the full 16 hours. And so you need to seek other training. So not only do you have to pay to seek other training, you're going to have to catch down this snake oil salesman for your money. That's right. Be prepared, okay? So then you're going to go through the 16 hours, okay? And remember all that time you had to wait to get your doggone concealed carry license. Now you're going to have to wait through the appeals process, which is going to take another 90 to 120 plus days because the state police is backlogged. Don't put yourself in that trick bag. Get the training the right way, whether it be with me or with somebody else. My feelings are not hurt because you don't come to me. That's fine. I am not for everybody. If you want to sweat, if you want to learn to suppress your feelings, if you want to learn to fuck your feelings and do what you're supposed to do to stop that threat at the time that you're supposed to stop that threat, because it's when it's time to stop that threat, that's what matters. You need to make sure you have yourself in someone's concealed carry class like or better. I am humble enough to say this, like or better than mine. But you need to be trained. After you go through those 16 hours, then you need to make sure that your state ID or driver's license has the correct address because the Illinois State Police is going to check that information with the Illinois Secretary of State to make sure that the addresses are the same. So don't try to go to your grandmother's house. Baby, I'll go ahead and get your concealed carry license. You can go ahead and send it to me so I can take your paw to the range.
That's where the packages don't get stolen.
You said what?
That's where the packages don't get stolen. But I want to let everybody know there's construction in the background. I'm so sorry if you hear some.
Yep, there you go. It is construction in the background because what's in it for the black people media? Yep.
We're not shooting over here.
No, no shots fired. If it was shots fired, all you see is my head disappear, and we do what we got to do.
I'm going in there.
That's it. Come on, let's go. That's it. Stack up. All right. So you are right, though. Okay, that's where the packages get sent. But your concealed carry license goes there, and you just got into it with your grandma. Baby, I'm not giving you shit. And you don't get your license. And you don't get your license. So make sure that you got your address correct, okay? You're going to need 10 years of address history. You're going to need your photo, okay, head and shoulders photo to make sure that, and they're not going to use that photo on your license. They don't care about your edges or whatever the case may be, all right, edges on fleek, right? They're going to use it as a comparison photo, and you're going to need that certificate. You go on ahead and you apply, and when you apply, it's going to take anywhere from 90 to 120 days. Now, that's by statute. Lately, it's been taking longer because the Illinois State Police is at a backlog, okay? During the COVID-19 crisis where the government shut down, they stopped processing concealed carry licenses and FOID cards, okay? So you got all those applications. Think about what happened in the midst of that time. You got the George Floyd situation. You have other situations that took place, and that big boom of all of you all who finally decided, oh, yeah, now it's time to get a gun. Yeah, all those background checks, all those concealed carry classes, all those concealed carry license applications, all those FOID card applications just built up. So statutorily, with fingerprints, talk about that in a minute, where it would take 90 days up to, now you're talking 120 plus days. 120 plus days, okay? So you go on ahead and apply. It costs $153.58 actually to get your Illinois concealed carry license, okay? The FOID card is $11. So you're talking about anywhere in the ballpark of $5 somewhere there, plus or minus, okay? And you go on ahead and get that. You'll get your FOID card first before you get your concealed carry, okay? And so after you apply, you'll be doing the waiting game. You can purchase your firearm once you get your FOID card. Now, if you did not expunge your background or you did not check your background, you will get a letter from the state police, all right? And I'll tell you what happens. Within the first 30 days, law enforcement receives the notification that you are looking to apply for a concealed carry license. And that law enforcement agency has the ability to be able to object through the portal, okay, to you receiving a concealed carry license, okay? And once they file that objection, you are going to get that, oh shit, here we go again, letter from the Illinois State Police saying a law enforcement agency has filed an objection to you receiving an Illinois concealed carry license. And you will get this letter about maybe 13 times because every 30 days they're going to resend you a letter, okay? And I'm just exaggerating on 13 times. It could be plus or minus depending upon the case, okay? Now, rest assured, if you are in Chicago, they are going to object. I say again, if you are in Chicago, they are going to object. Why? This is a gun-hating state. This is a gun-hating city. They do not want you to be able to protect yourself because that's a part of the agenda. If I keep you down where you can't protect yourself, you need me. You want me. You're not going to be able to protect yourself. Now, you may find some officers that understand the need to protect yourself, and they may promote that because you got Chicago police officers who are also concealed carry instructors. But that's not the agenda of the you-know-what party. I'll leave it to you to figure out what you-know-what means. All right? Call a spade, okay? But they will object. So do what I ask you to do and get that doggone background cleared, or you will rue the day you didn't listen to my advice. A wise person listens to counsel. Okay? Get your background squared away. I'd rather you wait now and get that squared away than for you to be like, yeah, he was right. I can't stand that motherfucker Mike, but he was right. Okay? So, once you get that squared away and you apply and you're under board review, when you are under board review and you get that first letter, you need to start getting all of your evidence that the case was thrown out, the case was dismissed, I was found not guilty, and if you need assistance, you can call me, 773-372-3929. I'll say it again, 773-372-3929. I'd prefer you text me because these are your notes. Text messages are great. These are your notes. I will guide you in as much as I can as to where you need to go to get your documentation so that when the state police sends you the letter as to what the basis of the objection was and who filed it, you will know how to combat it. Because you can't go into the portal and say, well, what had happened was me and my cousin was around the block and it's not going to work like that. All right? More information on what you need to do under board review. And, of course, I want to answer your questions. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474 on What's in It for the Black People Radio. Hit those stars. Hit those stars. We'll be right back.
WIFTBPM.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I'm running for U.S. Senator for the state of Illinois. I will never give up on inclusion and equality, prison reform, reduce property taxes, and economic opportunity for all. I want to get to know your neighborhood and the problem that you face every day. And I want to serve every man, woman, and child in the state of Illinois. A vote for me is a vote for you.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
What's up, good people? You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard.
You'll never breed a warrior.
Warriors, come out to play.
You hear that? And that's what's happening at every angle. They're creating paradigms where we can only raise feminine men.
Yeah.
Whether they're homosexual or not, they feminine as shit.
Sure, because all masculinity is toxic.
All masculinity is toxic in a war-torn society where the dominant society is saying to your ass, we don't never want no warriors.
Right.
You bastards.
Any book you've ever read, you can read the Bible, goddammit. When they go and they destroy some shit, they kill all the boy babies.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't even want you growing up to think you're going to do some shit to me.
Animals do the same thing. If I come over here and I take over this village now or whatever, like this gonna be my pride. First thing I'm doing, killing the male boys, like killing the male babies.
Don't you even grow up with that attitude,
Don't you
little
even
nigga.
think about it. Okay?
Bitch.
Right. You ain't my daddy, you damn right I ain't your daddy. Fuck your fort, little nigga.
Fuck your fort.
You're not my dad.
Oh man, I hate that I laugh at this shit in public.
That's real.
I hate that I laugh at this stuff in public.
That's real though, right? Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard live on What's in It for the Black People Media, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
What's up? This is Mike Love.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Diz.
Sounds like Bad Boy Radio.
Yeah, but it's not Bad Boy Radio because we are now Chicago famous, but we are back on the air.
3 to 6, Monday through Friday, starting September 8th.
All right, you tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody it's going down. Not only will you hear us on air, but you'll be able to see us as well, and that's all going down September 8th from 3 to 6.
What's in it for the Black People Media? Make sure you check us out.
Chicago famous.
This secure moment is brought to you by Secure Home and Automation, your premier authorized Bring security dealer. Home invasions occur every 23 seconds, fire every 85 seconds, and medical emergencies occur suddenly. In times like these, get secured home and automation and an affordable wireless home alarm system with professional monitoring. This includes fast emergencies response, free security analysis, free equipment, and free installation. A limited time offer, be proactive. Call today, don't delay. 708-251-5069. That's 708-251-5069. Call now, 708-251-5069, or visit our website, securehomeandautomation.com. Secure Home and Automation, where your life safety is our priority. It brings authorized dealers. Certain restrictions apply.
Is it really a good idea to have the same senator for 3 generations? I support term limit for all elected officials. Our senators need to bring home growth for our business community, jobs, housing, service for our senior citizens, and health care. We need new ideas and new approach to federal representation. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington, D.C. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
On the next episode of On the Soil with the Bigs, we got the one and only Cubs 2016 World Series champion Jason Hayward, a.k.a. Jay Hay, rocking with us.
Tune in this Thursday, September 3rd, only on What's In It for the Black People Media. You rocking with the Bigs.
We're back. What's in it for the Black People Radio presents Trigger with Instructor Mike. I'm your host, Instructor Mike, and we've been talking about the concealed carry process, the board review process, what you should do to ensure the smoothest, if you will, transition to being able to actually get your concealed carry license. All right, so we got a caller on the line. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to What's in It for the Black People with Instructor Mike. How can I help you?
Hello?
Yes. How can I help you?
Hey, Mike. Mike, what's going on? This is G-Side14 from Instagram. I follow you all the time.
What's up, man?
Hey, you got to remember to, just as a FCC holder myself, we can apply for the concealed carry and we do not have to take the class. But it's advisable that you do take the class because the laws don't apply the same, if you will.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. Absolutely. So for those of you all who are armed security officers in the state of Illinois, and I want to thank you for that, G-Side on 14 from Instagram. He does follow me. For those of you all who are armed security officers who have your firearm control card, otherwise known as your TAN card, no, you do not have to take the class, but you should take the class as he just stated because the laws are a little bit different in terms of what security officers can do versus what concealed carry holders can do. And that's the one thing that I talk about because I actually combine both classes into one class, okay? That is a very, very, very good point. All right, we got another caller. Caller, what's going on? Welcome to Trigger with Instructor Mike. How can I help you? Caller, you still there? Caller?
Pat, are you still there?
Oh, hi, Mike. It's Pat. How you doing? Sorry.
Hey, Pat, how are you?
I'm good. I'm waiting for my FOID card,
Okay.
and so you had said, I'm wondering, do I just wait or should I contact somebody? It's still pending, and I know you said there's a backlog. And can I take a class without having it? Can I take your class without having my FOID card yet?
Yes, you can. You absolutely can take a class without having your FOID card, as long as obviously the instructor has their credentials, they have their FOID card and their concealed carry. Under Illinois law, you can enter a gun range and receive instruction with a person who does have an FOID card. So when you're on that range, you're under that instructor's tutelage and supervision. Now, as it relates to your concealed carry license or FOID card being pending, I recommend that you contact your state representative to try to see if they can put some fire, in essence, behind the Illinois State Police to make sure that they move as fast and efficiently as they can. Here's a little secret. Depending upon who your state rep is, you might have to seek a Republican state rep. Oh, no.
Wait. Great question.
Okay.
Pat. This is so new. What?
Yeah, not a Republican, right? Yeah, you might have to seek a Republican state rep. Go to yours first, okay? Give him or her the opportunity to, advocate for you, but you might have to seek out a Republican. Why? I hate to say it, but gun issues or gun-loving things, so to speak, people who support the Second Amendment and a person's right to defend themselves by the use of a firearm is primarily a Republican thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just giving you options because, after all, the politicians aren't going to be in your house during the home invasion. It's going to be you.
Exactly.
I'm just telling you.
Exactly.
And that's what's in it for the black people, self-defense. Thank you very much, Pat.
Thanks, Mike.
You're very welcome. All right. Those of you all, the phone lines are open, 872-259-7474. If you got questions about the concealed carry process, the board review process, whatever the case may be about concealed carry, those of you all who are watching this, if you have family members that have questions, okay, don't hesitate. Have them call, okay? The people fail for the lack of knowledge. And when you have someone here who, yes, triggers you, who, yes, pisses you off, but is a health and wealth of knowledge, ask me.
I'm learning so much, Mike. Thank you so much.
You're
I'm
welcome.
taking notes.
Yes, I see. Y'all should see Sonya back there. The musical.
You should see my face. We'll have a
That's
camera next time. But
yes, please, we got to. I love it when you're a part of it. Yes, the musical conductor, Sonya Escobar. She is absolutely amazing. And I like it when other people are engaging and learning. And don't forget to hit those stars. Hit those stars. Okay, support great content for What's in It for the Black People Media Network. Maze Jackson has done an amazing job bringing all types of people with all types of backgrounds with wonderful content. You want to talk about the source for education? You need to come here. You need to come here. And I'm not going to recommend anything else. You need to come here. Okay.
Now, speaking of education,
Sure.
if I've had a birthday party coming up and I wanted to take my group of girls,
Yeah.
can I schedule, what do you call it, a session with you?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes, I definitely do one-on-one training. My one-on-one training is more so like, the prices are negotiable, stuff like that. But yes, you got me for however long you have me, and provided that I gauge your skill set and see, what you do and what you can't do, whatever, or the deficiencies where you need to work on. Yes, I can definitely tailor my programs to, that's great. You see a lot of ladies.
Yeah, I'm putting together like a ladies' birthday, shindig.
Yeah.
I love the fact that we had that question from Pat because now I know they don't need their FOIA card.
FOID card, yes. FOID stands for Firearm Owners Identification Card. Yes, okay.
I was like,
you can be like, let me get my FOIA. We're not looking for documents here.
Thank you so much.
Yes. And for those of you all who want to, ladies' night out, guys' night, whatever the case may be, look, what's in it for the black people has to be the advocacy of self-defense. No one is going to save you. You must save yourself. We easily talk about Dylan Roof and the white guy who went into the church in South Carolina, who killed the 9 black folks after prayer. But we don't talk. We talk about earlier. We were talking about are we ready? What are we missing from these controversial situations? No one tried to mention, or very few people tried to mention, that the pastor, God rest his soul, was a Democratic senator from the state of South Carolina. His position against guns, he was against them. And we in the church tend to listen to the man of God. You got to put a D on that man, okay? And that is a part of the issue. When you allow someone else to dictate and persuade you to not protect yourself. Since we want to go to the Bible, let's talk about Luke 11:21. It supports being able to protect yourself. When a person is armed and protected, his possessions maintain his. But when you are not armed and protected, those possessions fall into the hands of someone that becomes the spoils of war. Luke 11:21, of course, I'm paraphrasing. Look it up. And I just wonder what would have happened if Deacon Cleotis was like, yes, I'm not going to carry. But inside his Bible, he had the peace that passeth all understanding. Let it guard your heart and mind through the rear sight, at your front sight, center of mass on that thread. Dylan Roof should have been dispatched to whomever he believes in. He should not be in jail right now. He should be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Say that, Mike.
Yeah, he should be gone because the people stood up and stopped him in God's house. Because if you're not safe in God's house, where can you be safe? Come on now. We got to get better. We got to get better. It's okay to talk about controversial issues. It's okay to have a position, whether you're for or against it, whatever the case may be. It's not okay to allow someone to have physical dominion over your person in circumstances where you definitely can control the response. Whether you can control the outcome or not, that's anybody's guess. But it's no one's job to protect you but you. Phone lines are open. 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. What's in it for the Black People Media presents Triggered with Instructor Mike. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
WIFTBPM.
This secure moment is brought to you by Secure Home and Automation, your premier authorized Bring security dealer. Home invasions occur every 23 seconds, fire every 85 seconds, and medical emergencies occur suddenly. In times like these, get secured home and automation and an affordable wireless home alarm system with professional monitoring. This includes fast emergencies response, free security analysis, free equipment, and free installation. A limited time offer, be proactive. Call today, don't delay. 708-251-5069. That's 708-251-5069. Call now, 708-251-5069, or visit our website, securehomeandautomation.com. Secure Home and Automation, where your life safety is our priority. It brings authorized dealers, certain restrictions apply.
What's up? This is Mike Love.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Diz.
Sounds like Bad Boy Radio.
Yeah, but it's not Bad Boy Radio because we are now Chicago famous, but we are back on the air.
3 to 6, Monday through Friday, starting September 8th.
All right, you tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody it's going down. Not only will you hear us on air, but you'll be able to see us as well, and that's all going down September 8th from 3 to 6.
What's in it for the Black People Media? Make sure you check us out.
Chicago famous.
What's up, good people? You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard.
You'll never breed a warrior.
Mm-hmm. Warriors, come out to play.
Shh. You hear that? And that's what's happening at every angle. They're creating paradigms where we can only raise feminine men.
Yes.
Whether they're homosexual or not, they feminine as shit.
Sure, because all masculinity is toxic.
All masculinity is toxic in a war-torn society where the dominant society is saying to your ass, we don't never want no warriors.
Right.
You bastards.
Any book you've ever read, you can read the Bible, goddammit. When they go and they destroy some shit, they kill all the boy babies.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't even want you growing up to think you're going to do some shit to me.
Animals do the same thing.
Kill
If I come over here and I take over this village now or whatever, like this gonna be my pride. First thing I'm doing, killing the male boys, like killing the male babies.
Don't you even grow up with that attitude,
Don't you
little
even
nigga.
think about it.
Ever.
Okay?
Bitch.
Right. You ain't my daddy. You damn right I ain't your daddy. Fuck your fort, little nigga.
Fuck your fort.
You're not my dad.
Oh man, I hate that I laugh at this shit in public.
That's real.
I hate that I laugh at this stuff in public.
That's real though, right? Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard live on What's in It for the Black People Media, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
On yesterday's installment of On the Soil, we talked about the first place White Sox and Cubs.
We also talked with our boy Darnell Mayberry of The Athletic about those Bulls, man.
And we paid tribute to John Thompson, Cliff Robinson, and Chadwick Boseman.
Make sure you tune in, continue to rock with the bigs. You are On the Soil, What's in It for the Black People Media.
I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I'm running for U.S. Senate for the state of Illinois. I would never give up on inclusion and equality, prison reform, reduced property taxes, and economic opportunity for all. I want to get to know your neighborhood and the problem that you face every day. And I want to serve every man, woman, and child in the state of Illinois. A vote for me is a vote for you.
WIFTBPM. WIFTBPM.
That's right. You are back. We are back. You're back. You're here. We're here. We're back with Trigger with Instructor Mike. I'm your host, Instructor Mike. The phone lines are open. 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. If you got comments, don't type them. Call it in. Give us a call, okay? We'd love to talk to you about concealed carry and a bunch of other things, okay? Don't forget, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Up next, make sure you're hanging around and tune in for I Said What I Said with Herb Howard and Toussaint Warner, only on What's in It for the Black People Media. These guys, whether they want to admit it or not, just like me. We just trigger. Yeah, they don't want to admit it. We trigger folks on different levels.
You said.
I'm telling you. And if you want to be triggered in a different direction but still get triggered, all right, hang around for those guys. I said what I said because that's how I feel when I say what I say. All right, concealed carry. Make sure you're getting yourself in somebody's concealed carry class. It's no one's job to protect you but you. No one's job to protect you but you. All right. So wrapping all this up, we talked about a lot today. We really, really did. We talked about so much. Okay. We talked about the readiness that you need to have and be prepared for in protecting yourself. Like the 17-year-old or not, like what he was there for or not, he was what you may or may not be, and that is ready. Are you ready for when someone enters your house without lawful authority? Are you ready to shoot from a seated position? Are you ready to do the unthinkable when you don't have the time to think when you should know? Have you been in a class and have you gotten more training beyond the confines of the little concealed carry class with the instructor who cared more about ratings, who cared more about money, who cared more about making sure that he or she got more recommendations from you because he or she fucked your ego and made you feel like you were really doing something when they just gave you enough skills to get your ass killed? Yes, I said it. That's right. Are you ready for when it's time to do that thing? Saying something 1,000 times is not the same thing as living it once. I'm telling you. And what's the Pareto principle? 80% of you may never use your firearm. Never. You may never use your firearm. You got it. You go to the range and shoot it. You may never use it. 20% of you might. 10% of you of that 20, you might pull it out. 5% of you may actually have to use it. I'm not training you for a lifetime. I'm training you for that one time you may have to. Are you ready? We praise other bold views of militias, black militias too, who got up there and get out there with rifles and all kinds of tools and things of that nature, right? Yeah, we're standing up. We're ready. Are we? If you've been someplace, if you've been in combat, if you've been in the military, if you've been outside the city, county, or state to other places where they train, are you humble enough to say, I'm ready for my house, but we may not be ready? Do you understand it takes a position of strength to make that admission? It takes a position of strength to make that admission. And this is not weakness talking, after all, because if that was the case, I could take my knowledge, other people could take their knowledge and withhold it. And you get some people that do that. You get some people that have a lot of knowledge and they don't share it. Why? There is a quote by Dale Carnegie: a person persuaded against his will maintains the same opinion still. I'll say it again. A person persuaded against his will maintains the same opinion still. Why should I change my opinion, or why should I give you the information when it is ever more present that you are stuck in your ways of thinking? Not saying that your ways of thinking, you're not entitled to them. You are. You absolutely are. But when someone comes to you with information, right, is that the first thing you want to do is attack them instead of being honest with yourself? Because you're only lying to yourself. And don't sugarcoat that, fatty, because you'll just eat that too.
You hurting my feelings. I feel attacked.
I don't feel attacked.
Saw me eating.
Hey, I'm tubby tub too. Okay, because beneath the flab is a set of abs. Do you? Okay, let me stop. But you need to make sure that you're ready. Look at that video of Kyle and what he's doing. Examine whether or not you can do that. For crying out loud, I teach a kids class too, where I teach kids how to actually use a firearm. Do you know those kids give me a lot of motivation? And it ends up motivating the parents too to actually take a chance and learn a skill set. Think about how we come by learning about guns. Take a chance and actually begin to learn how to use that firearm in a responsible and efficient way, to get more training to where you can actually understand what you're getting into. I want you to, there is a book called When Violence is the Answer by Tim Larkin. He's a former Navy SEAL, okay? When Violence is the Answer. That's a great book. If your mindset is not geared towards the most violent thing that you may have to do with that tool, you need to ask yourself, am I willing to do it? Why am I even here? What am I even doing? Because your stuff, your gun can get snatched away from you. Your tools can get snatched away from you, and you can be killed with your own stuff. You don't want that to happen. You don't. And I'm going to trigger you, and I'm going to help you as much as I can get you trained. 872-259-7474, 872-259-7474. Hey, if people call, great. If no one calls, that's great too. I'm going to keep on teaching, okay? I'm going to keep on teaching. So let's recap. You get pulled over by the police. What's the first thing you want to do? Turn on your interior lights, right? Turn on your interior lights. Darkness is a position where fear resides. So shine the light. Shine the light, okay? Shine the light. So let your light be shined, if you will, upon the world. So shine that light. Turn on that light, okay? If you're one of those ones who believes that you're always going to get messed with by the police, start recording. Go Facebook Live. You know why? Because if the phone is snatched, if the phone is destroyed, guess what? What was on that video is locked into Facebook. Then they'd have to gain access to your Facebook page to take it down. It takes a process for that, okay? If that's you, right? When you get pulled over, don't reach. Remember the rules of thumb. If your hand can go there and a gun can go there, don't you take your ass there, okay? It's just that simple. If a hand can go there and a gun can go there, don't you take your ass there. It's just that simple, okay? No quick movements. Make everything slow. After all, they're on the clock. They're getting paid to pull you over. Why are you going to rush out of fear to your own death? Don't do that. Don't do that, okay? Roll down the window. You can try that little inch roll if you want to. If we want to get in, it's only a matter of time. We're going to get in, okay? Roll down that window all the way. put your hands on the steering wheel with your palms facing you. Hands on the steering wheel with your palms facing you. Why? With the palms facing you, the police see your hands before they see your body. So they don't have to guess whether you have something in your hands. They see that you don't, right? I don't suggest that suspect lean outside the window like this. Why? A car could come by, clip your hand off, throw it in the tall grass, monkeys grab it. Now they got a bat to play baseball. Don't put your hands outside. I don't know. That's crazy.
I'm going to steal that.
Yeah, don't do that. Right. Don't put your hand, because I'm telling you, with that suspect lean, Sonya, with that suspect lean.
But that's my swag.
That swag nothing. Yes, that means you've been institutionalized.
Sauce.
Okay, Sauce. Again, there's that bat and the juice from the blood. Monkeys playing baseball with it. All right? I'm telling you, with those arms out, it signals that you've been institutionalized. Right? You have to look at the optics of how things look. It would be just as if somebody took off their baseball cap and started squeezing the hat with their head down in a rather submissive position. What are you signifying? That you're still kind of mentally traumatized by the slave mindset.
You know what? Trump spoke about that yesterday when he went to Kenosha. Would you like to hear some?
Sure.
When these allegations of police wrongdoing, and when you see that they have made allegations, they must be fully and fairly investigated, and that's what we're doing. Bill Barr's done a fantastic job in that respect, and we fully understand that, because you do have problems the other way, but they're very few. You know, the sad thing is you can do 10,000 great jobs as a policeman or a policewoman. You can do an incredible job for years, and then you have one bad apple or something happens that's bad, and that's the nightly news for 3 weeks. That's all they talk about. They don't talk about the thousands and thousands of good jobs, the lives that you saved. They never talk about.
He mentioned that they choke sometimes.
Yeah,
you have
oh my God.
25th of a second?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I listened to his press conference when he was in Kenosha. And the thing is, again, not trying to like what you hear, but learn from what you've heard. We look at the person who's saying the message and we automatically cut the message off. He's not lying if you've been in that situation before. I get civilians who I teach in my classes, and I'm one of those shock trauma or shock therapy type of instructors where I can tell you, but I want to show you. I want you to get your pulse up. I want you to feel it. And then when I do what I do and you freeze up, well, why did you freeze up? Because I didn't know what to do. Our bodies and brains are like computers, and what you put into it continuously, that's what you're going to get out of it. But if you don't put anything in it, you're not going to get anything out of it, because the brain does not have a place to go. It doesn't have a file within that cabinet to reach in and pull the deja vu moment to send it to you. You're not rising to any occasion. You're sinking to the level of your training. And if that training is absent, then you're not going to respond. He was correct in that. It's just got to change. It's got to change. It would be the same thing as if Obama said the same thing. He's correct. Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, I got a surprise for you. We got some differences of opinion. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. What's in it for the Black People Media presents Triggered with Instructor Mike. We will be right back.
WIFTBPM.
On yesterday's installment of On the Soil, we talked about the first place White Sox and Cubs.
We also talked with our boy Darnell Mayberry of The Athletic about those Bulls, man.
And we paid tribute to John Thompson, Cliff Robinson, and Chadwick Boseman.
Make sure you tune in, continue to rock with the bigs. You are On the Soil. What's in it for the Black People Media?
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. So many politicians are bought by special interests and major corporations instead of the citizens who elected them. I would not be bought. I would finance my own campaign in good faith to the voters of Illinois and promise to serve with integrity at all times. I'm asking for your support as I run for U.S. Senator in 2020.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
This secure moment is brought to you by Secure Home and Automation, your premier authorized Bring security dealer. Home invasions occur every 23 seconds, fire every 85 seconds, and medical emergencies occur suddenly. In times like these, get secured home and automation and an affordable wireless home alarm system with professional monitoring. This includes fast emergencies response, free security analysis, free equipment, and free installation. A limited time offer, be proactive. Call today, don't delay. 708-251-5069. That's 708-251-5069. Call now, 708-251-5069, or visit our website, securehomeandautomation.com. Secure Home and Automation, where your life safety is our priority. It brings authorized dealers, certain restrictions apply.
WIFTV-PM. WIFTV-PM.
All right, we're back. What's in it for the Black People Media Network presents Trigger with Mike Brown. And we got coming up, I Said What I Said with Herb Howard and Tucson Warner. And they're in the studio on deck. Bring it, guys.
What's up, Mike? First of all, man, what's happening? How you feeling?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I was doing good, man. I was listening to the show, and now I'm not doing so good.
Talk to me.
Mike,
Oh, that was you yelling in the back?
you be like you?
You crazy as hell.
You
Yes!
You believe the shit you be saying in here to these people?
Believe it, I've lived it.
Yeah.
How many people you shot, Mike?
You ain't gonna never get me to talk about that.
This studio smell like gunpowder in here. As soon as I walked in, it just smelled like gunpowder.
Pew pew.
Listen, Mike. Listen. I'm all for the idea of people being prepared and ready for the worst, right? I'm a huge believer in prepare for the worst, hope for the best, right? I'm with that. But I think there's a thin line between being prepared for the worst while hoping for the best and actively seeking out the worst possible outcomes. I think when you have an incident such as what happened in Kenosha with 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse, I think that wasn't him being prepared for the worst. That was him actively seeking it out and ensuring that he met that outcome.
Okay, so you make a great point. You don't want to seek that out. But I ask you this. With his AR-15 that he had that has a maximum effective range, 3,600 meters, right? Mm-hmm. Why weren't there more people killed? If he's going there looking to kill people, do you know how easy it would have been for him to hide in the thick brush and snipe people off before they ever knew it was him? Your point.
Also, he's 17 years old, so maybe that wasn't his proper preparation.
Oh.
He was there for a reason, right? His mother dropped him off for a reason. He don't live in Wisconsin, he lives in Illinois.
Right.
Right? So he came there to cause havoc. He pulled the trigger, they started to whoop on his ass. The tables got turned. It is what it is.
Did they succeed on whooping on his ass?
They whooped his ass for a little while.
Until what happened?
Until he got loose.
They got rid.
The police came and saved his punk.
Until he murdered
The
somebody.
police didn't save him. The police didn't save him. If you watch the video,
he did it
himself.
Yeah.
And he walked in, he chameleonized himself as what he was. He used what he was to his advantage, and he walked in there. Here we go. By the way, you said 17 years old. Guess what age I was when I entered the military? 17.
Yeah.
17.
Oh yeah, the country is sending you off to go kill people all day long.
Yeah.
But to walk down the street
Mm-hmm.
with an AR-15,
okay,
right, and just murder people in the street.
But I don't want to conflate the arguments though.
Not at all.
Right? I don't want to conflate the arguments,
Okay.
right? I'm not even anti-violent. Don't confuse it.
I believe
right?
it.
My whole title is "Can you whoop my ass though?"
I don't
You
want to,
understand me?
but
I'm for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead.
So, but I'm only standing on what I'm standing on. I'm standing on what I respect. I'm standing on what I stand for.
Yes,
right?
sir.
That's noted, right?
Yes, sir.
All I'm saying is we're gonna make the argument that Kyle Rittenhouse is right.
Mhm.
Then we need to stop pretending with this voting shit.
Mhm.
We need to stop pretending with this multicultural diversity shit, and let's just go and go to war. Cause that's what the fuck it is. It's a war.
Are we ready? That was the whole point I was making in the beginning. Come on now. How many of our 17-year-olds do what Kyle did? Let's talk facts. How many of our
Do
17 the whole having the AR-15, the
Okay.
whole, if you looked at the training, he was obviously trained.
Sure.
The way that he rolled with that rifle, defended that rifle, shot from a seated position, I recognize all those tactics.
Yeah.
How many of our 17-year-olds? And Kyle isn't even a combat veteran.
Right.
So imagine the combat veterans that are my age, less and older,
Right.
if we went to war. Is that something that we really want? Because I'm telling you, as a person who has trained in multiple states and trained in multiple countries,
Sure.
it's different when you're talking about a person on the block who got the blick.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's
Pop,
different.
pop, 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 pop.
Yeah, no, it's different. You're shooting sideways, you're shooting out of cars, you're doing all that kind of goofy shit. I understand that part of it, right? And I commend you for training people and getting people prepared for those moments. And if I'm in the street and people are trying to whip my ass and people coming to stump me or whatever, and I got it on me, yeah, I'm finna use it. But what I'm saying is, he wasn't just incidentally approached and attacked in the street. He was there for a reason. They was on his ass for a reason.
That's also a very monolithic view of how war works too, though.
Okay, how does war
right?
work?
So, America has this kind of conscience of fighting wars through attrition, right?
Okay.
But the Viet Cong whooped our motherfucking ass.
They did.
Right?
They did.
If we're going to be honest about what's happening in over East, they're whooping our motherfucking ass.
Oh, Middle East?
Yeah. Yeah. They're whooping our motherfucking ass. Let's keep it a buck, right? With all the army, with all the guns, and all the info.
Yeah.
And these motherfuckers wearing half dresses and hiding in heels and beating the shit out of us. So you can sell whatever argument you want to sell.
Correct.
Who wins the goddamn war is who is more dedicated to winning the goddamn war.
And who is more dedicated? The one who's prepared?
No. Preparation ain't got shit to do with dedication. You understand me?
Are you
it's
sure?
about. I'm absolutely sure.
Let's talk on
it's
it. Go
about
ahead.
belief,
Go ahead.
right?
Belief.
How dedicated. If I'm unwilling to lose, think about it like this, right?
Correct.
Now, I don't believe that the Twin Towers went down because of what they say how it went down.
It was some other stuff.
I think it was an inside job, my personal opinion.
Okay.
Right?
noted.
But that's a different level of dedication to say the motherfuckers that's willing to die, the guy who's willing to die is the motherfucker that's going to win.
The Marine Corps has that saying. Everybody
The
wants to
Marine
go to
Corps
heaven.
might have
Nobody
that
wants to die.
saying,
Right.
but are they really willing to do it?
Absolutely.
You understand me? And
So-
there's a very big difference there.
So let me ask you a question. What's in it for the black people? Are we willing to die to protect what's ours? Because we worried about
We better be.
Wisconsin. Hold on,
63rd
here we go
Street is
now.
dying before 61st Street
Hold
right
on,
now
hold
because
on.
they
Here
believe
we-
63rd
why
Street
you
is
talking
dead.
about O Block like that? Here we
Yeah.
go.
But that's what they
Here we
believe.
go. But I'm just saying though, right? The difference between those out there in the streets and those in the community is that those in the community, we have those beliefs. We want to be free from oppression,
Right.
but we ain't willing to die to make it happen. We not willing to die to go in the streets to stop those in the streets who's messing things up and bringing the police to our community where they're causing the issues. I'm just saying, are we willing to die? You said it yourself.
See, you're also conflating arguments again.
Death has to be on the table.
But see, he's still conflating arguments in the statement that
Tell
he's
it,
making,
tell it.
right? Because the people who are afraid to go out in the streets aren't the very people that would go out in the street in the first place. The ones who are out in the streets who's calling the havoc are the warrior class. Those are the warriors that should be going to war against our real oppressors. Let's not conflate the arguments. Now, we have a misguided understanding. That I agree with. But the Kyle Rittenhouses of our community is O-Block. Let's be clear about that. It's our problem where we've kind of disengaged from them and written them off.
Okay,
They
I
absolutely
agree
have
with
a
that.
value
I
for
agree with
us.
that. I agree
because
with
the
that.
rest of us is scared as shit.
Right.
Nothing wrong
So-
with that. I ain't got to change the target.
Let me ask you, who wrote them off? Let's start there. Because before the police, there were these parents. So who wrote them off? Did it start with us writing our
Another
Here we go.
conflated argument.
It started with white supremacy. That's
Okay.
who wrote them off first.
But guess what? As a survivor of child abuse,
Okay.
right? Now I'm gonna talk facts. Born and raised in the black community.
Yeah.
I ain't know nothing about a white man.
Right.
I didn't know nothing about a white man.
Right.
But I tell you what, I knew something about my mom.
Right.
I knew something about my parents.
Right.
Right. Who could have gotten the access to the education and training so that they could have turned.
Time out. It's time out. Look, man, we got some shows to run. This the network. We can't be running on CB.
You got people. It gets the people going.
That's it.
It gets the people
That's
going.
it. All right. Boss came in.
Kill everybody.
We gotta go. All right. Thank you for tuning in to Trigger with What's in It with Mike Brown on What's in It for the Black People Radio Network. Don't go anywhere. We got, oh my God, y'all got me triggered. I'm ready to talk.
I'm amped about it too.
Man, here we go. Y'all, yes. I said what I said with Herb Howard and Two Warners coming up next. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with
go.
Trigger. Mike Brown, here we go.
WIFTVPM.
I got it. My bad. Then Don Millhouse came through. That was my fault, y'all. I got y'all on the sound now. I said a whole lot, right? Now let me tell y'all again. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to I Said What I Said. We are live from the Maysaid Studios at What's In It for the Black People Media. You can watch this live on the Mace Jackson page, live on Facebook. Thank y'all so much for choosing to be a part of this conversation. Again, this is I Said What I Said. My name is Herb Howard. His name is Toussaint Werner. Each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 1 to 3 p.m., we get together right here and we discuss issues that are impacting the black community, how those things are impacting us as individuals, but also how they're impacting us as a collective. And along with your help, we try and talk through many of those issues in hopes of finding the best solutions going forward for how we can overcome those issues. Again, overcome them as individuals, but more importantly, overcome them as a collective. So please, 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 if you will, take a quick moment to share the conversation. Share it on your personal page. Share it even within your personal network. Anyone that you think would add value to or find value in this particular conversation, we want to invite them to be a part of it. It is our belief that the more like-minded individuals that we have be a part of this conversation, the better the opportunity for us to find the best solutions going forward. And again, I always remind you, when I say like-minded, it's not to say that we're always in agreement. It is simply to say that you are aware that there are some problems and actively engaged in trying to overcome those issues. So again, thank y'all so much for tuning in to I Said What I Said. This is intellectual thuggery at its finest. We believe this is the blackest conversation in America. Again, my name is Herb Howard. His name is Toussaint Werner too. What's happening, good brother?
What's up, family?
Ain't nothing to it, man. I just been chilling out, man. I've been rocking out with What's In It for the Black People Media all day long. Shout out to Mace Jackson. The Mace Jackson show was popping off this morning. Him and Ruthie had it going on. Then Don came through with the Book of Don. It was lit. They was talking about sex and everything this morning, okay? Sister Gina come through. She got on a mask, right? She got the face mask that has penises on it, right? It's a face mask, bunch of penises all over the face mask.
Into that, huh?
You know me.
Face full up.
Yes. No. But it was dope. The Book of Don was cracking. Shout out to Don. And then the good brother Mike Brown came through with Triggered, and Mike is Mike, man. Mike is Mike, gun-toting enthusiast. Mike trying to make sure everybody's prepared for the worst possible outcome. Huh? Mike is a pistol starter. I think Mike, I don't even think Mike be believing half the shit Mike be saying. He just be riling people up.
It's provocative, though. It gets around.
It gets people going. It does. No, Mike is super dope. He knows exactly what he's doing in terms of training and being prepared for those moments. If you are at all considering, and you should be considering making sure that you're ready and prepared, you want to reach out to Mike and get certified and take his trainings and take all the courses that you need so that you can be prepared when those moments come. Now, how and when those moments come is when me and Mike kind of, split courses a little bit, because Mike think that, people such as Kyle Rittenhouse are well within their rights to walk down the street, the AR-15s, and kill people to protect a whole nother state, right? I think that's complete foolishness, but yeah, it's malarkey, right? It is absolute malarkey. But shout out to Mike and Trigger. Hey, Mike though, he talked to his people though. Right? The other gun-toting enthusiasts, they love everything Mike got to say. They be amped to say, I be looking in the comments, they be saying all kind of wild shit. Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse, kill him.
Yeah, I went to check out Mike's YouTube page before we actually came into the studio.
Yeah.
And the very first comment was like, man, I support everything Kyle Rittenhouse did.
He did no wrong.
He did no wrong. What is he supposed to do when those mofos are attacking him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mike has a very different kind of audience, man. That's all good, though, man. I appreciate it all, right? Because I think it's important to understand where the other side is coming from.
It is.
Right? Just like 63rd versus 61st. You gotta know what the
Opposition's
doing.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But the thing I said to Mike before, because he triggered me. He triggers me every time I hear him talk. But the thing I said to Mike, and I kind of stand behind this, is like, I'm not mad at Kyle Rittenhouse.
Right.
If we're going to operate from the standpoint of everybody holding true to what their real belief systems are.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I think in a lot of ways that's where our conversation comes into play at, and when we try to identify or create an understanding of what black identity is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You got the Black Identity Extremist t-shirt on right now.
Yeah.
Right? That's a new term. Right? It's a new terminology. It was created essentially by the FBI.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
To lock black
Yeah.
people up.
Yeah.
For believing in this shit.
And to scare white folks.
Supporting Kyle Rittenhouse.
Right.
So that's just, let's create, let's down, I tell you to play accordingly.
Yeah.
I'm with that if that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
But if that's not what we're gonna do, then we ain't gonna justify the shit Kyle Rittenhouse does, and then deny what's happening on 63rd Street or talk down about it because it's the same kind of fucking energy.
Yeah, I'm actually glad that Triggered and with Mike Brown is right before us on Wednesdays. It gives us an opportunity to kind of not only talk with him off the air, but talk to him on the air. And we just, if you were tuned in to the end of his show, you saw me and Tucson come in, and we had a little bit of a transition conversation with Mike. And I think there's going to be some value in us being able to do that. I think that, learning some of his perspectives and even taking some of those things on is going to be good. But I think also offering our perspective into that particular conversation and say, okay, that's fine. You want to talk about being prepared, you want to talk about making sure that we're ready when that moment comes, then that's fine. And I think that we can bring that a perspective that says, okay, well, here's our team, right? Let's be ready and make sure we understand clearly who and what we are fighting for. So shout out to Mike Brown and Trigger. Shout out to everybody that you heard on What's In It for the Black People Media. You can truly just turn on the Maze Jackson page Monday through Friday, 9 in the morning, and you can just tune into the programming all day. That's what I was doing before I came over to the studio. So again, this is I Said What I Said. Herb and Tucson here with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. Appreciate y'all so very, very much for tuning in. Gonna get into a lot of things, but as always, the first thing we want to do is give y'all the rundown.
Gather around and I run it down, people. We did it again, baby. This time's gonna play out.
Can we check these mics now?
So, gonna get into a couple of things today. We're gonna have a conversation about Kyle Rittenhouse, right? I want to have a brief conversation on him, not him specifically, but I want to juxtapose the handling of his situation, right? His crime and the way it's been dealt with, and kind of juxtapose that to what happened with the case of young Kalief Browder, right? If you don't know Kalief Browder, just quick little pop it in the Google machine, right? It'll pop up, and you'll see that he was a 16-year-old who was incarcerated in Rikers for 3.5 years. So we're gonna have that conversation about how those two young men were treated extremely differently, even though their crimes were incomparable, really, in terms of which one was more brutal. But we're going to have that conversation as well. We're going to talk about President Trump being in Kenosha. Why was he there? What were the things that he had to say about it? And what is going to be the impact of the message that he gave while he was there? He had a lot of things to say, as 45 always does. We're going to talk about that as well. And then we're going to get into the Kerner report. If you're not familiar with that, you can also pop that into the Google machine. And we're going to have a conversation about that. We're going to have some audio from Donald Trump in Kenosha, but we're also going to have some audio clips from this Kerner report that's really going to bring into focus the fact that not a whole lot has changed for us. Not a whole lot has changed for us in terms of what we've been fighting for, what that's looked like for us going back to 50s, 60s, all the way up into present day. Really, our entire existence here in this American experiment. Going to have those conversations and others. So that is the rundown. Again, this is I Said What I Said. My name is Herb Howard. His name is Tucson Werner. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Please share the conversation. Also, if you want to add your comments to the conversation, as always, your input is valued. It is certainly appreciated. So if you add your comments, we'll read through as many of them as possible as we go along. If you want to contribute to the show, you can also do that as well by clicking on that little gold star at the bottom of your screen. I want to shout out Tiger Lily. I don't know if Tiger is in here yet. Hopefully she'll stop through at some point. But if you are here, Tiger, I appreciate you so much. I was watching, was it during the Book of Don? I think it was during the Book of Don. It might have been during the Mace Jackson show, but I think it was during the Book of Don. She was promoting I Said What I Said. Like, hey, y'all stick around for I Said What I Said this afternoon at 1. So shout out to you, Tiger. Truly appreciate all of the Wiz OGs. All of y'all that have been with I Said What I Said since its inception. Truly, truly appreciate y'all. Up against our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk Kyle Rittenhouse versus Kalief Browder, Herb Howard, Tucson Werner. I Said What I Said. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. In my life, I've gone from cotton field to corporate boardroom. Made to understand. A vote for me is a step in the right direction for our state and our country.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. People in Illinois have been crying out for justice, equality, and fairness from their government for years. And it keeps getting worse. unfair taxes, laws that unjustly imprison nonviolent offenders. The rich get richer, and the everyday people suffer. It's time for a change, and with your help, I'm here to do it. I'm asking for your support as I run for U.S. Senator in 2020.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Is it really a good idea to have the same senator for 3 generations? I support term limit for all elected officials. Our senators need to bring home growth for our business community, jobs, housing, service for our senior citizens, and health care. We need new ideas and new approach to federal representation. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington, D.C. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
The grind and work from the bottom and climb up the ladder of success in time. It doesn't matter what the test is, every step is another level till I step in as the next in line, no question. I'm considered one of the best, my whole life invested in, holding mics and sketching rhymes, you guessed it. More mind, still restless, yes, even pressed up my records on my own dime.
And we are back. This is I Said What I Said. We are live from the Maysaid Studios here. What's in it for the Black People Media? Herb Howard, Tucson, Warner here with you until 3 o'clock. Thank y'all so very, very much for choosing to be a part of the conversation. We greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. Each and every one of you all. Thank y'all for watching on Facebook. Appreciate y'all watching over on YouTube as well. We see y'all. We appreciate y'all. Like, share, comment. As always, your input is certainly valued. It is absolutely appreciated too.
What up, though?
Kyle Rittenhouse, 17, murdered 2 people, cold blood in the street, right? He was defending himself, whatever, right? We can have that conversation, but that's not really the angle I want to approach this from right now. The fact is he's been charged with murder, right? He murdered 2 people, right? And he's been arrested, and he has been put into a juvenile detention center. And his hearing has already been pushed back a month. I think they pushed it back a month, probably just to calm down everybody, like kind of let it die down a little bit before the next phase of that case actually proceeds. But you compare that to the case of 16-year-old Kalief Browder, who was put into Rikers, on Rikers Island, with grown men at 16 years old, and left there for 3.5 years until he ultimately committed suicide because of the hell that he was living in. He was placed in there for 3.5 years for stealing, while Rittenhouse in a juvenile detention center after killing 2 people. How I can't really reconcile that in my brain. Can you help me understand how he's in juvie at 17, killing 2 people? Kalief Browder goes to Rikers Island for 3.5 years for stealing.
First of all, shout out to Auntie Janice for acknowledging how fresh my braids are. And second off, shout out to Cousin Brooke for lacing me. I just wanted to put that out there right there. Okay, but I think it's a flawed argument though, Herb, right? And I made the joke because that's the concept of this show, right? We assume it's one America. And it's not one America. The law, that's it right there.
It's different.
So it's loud. My headphones just blew up in my ear. But we assume that it's the same world. Like, think about the TV show with the black sister who was the handler and figured out things and had the white husband, was dating the white president.
Yeah, that's my joint.
Whatever her name was, whatever the name of that show was, right?
The Fixer.
There was a moment in that show when she had an argument with her father, and he talked about how you must understand that you are not them. You must understand that you got to be better than them. You must understand that you got to do twice as much as them to get half as much as they achieve, right? You must understand your positioning. That's about understanding what it means to be black in America, right? That's what it means. That's the context of our identity. So when we juxtapose what's happening to Kyle Rittenhouse versus what's happening to Kalief Browder, it's a silly argument to me, but I get it because we assume that we are in the same America, and we just aren't, right? Yeah. So
all the evidence is to the contrary.
All the evidence is to the contrary, right? So we talk about the wealth gap all the time. Sure. Our median is $1,700. Their median is $127,000.
Right.
Those are 2 different worlds, right? So the consequences of being in a caste versus living freely as a citizen creates the paradigm in which you must navigate the world from. You know what I mean? So the rules legitimately are the same. You know what I mean?
what's the Cinderella, right? Cinderella lived with her stepmom and all that. All the other sisters got treated a whole different way than Cinderella did. We must understand our positioning. Yeah, we're American, we citizens, right? By default, right? But by the very nature of our existence, we are that stepchild. We are that child that wasn't wanted by the country. We are in that home where our parents have devoted their entire existence to making our life hell. It is what it is. It's an abusive parental situation. And we just, to assume that you're going to get treated like the favorite child is insanity to me.
Yeah, so I understand that we're playing in two different games. I understand that we aren't, it's not a shared experience at all, right? Nothing in the history of this country would allow you to believe that we're on an even playing field. But when you see things like this play out, I guess what I'm really trying to get to a space of is trying to get all of us to understand that
Scandal was the name of the TV show, my bad.
Scandal, right. Scandal is the name of the show. With Olivia Pope. She's fine as hell. What's her name? Kerry Washington?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Shout out to Cherie Chapman for letting me know that, because I surely would have never remembered that.
Listen, Diane made a comment. Diane Scott made a comment. She says, come with some information about the case with Kyle Rittenhouse. She says, a Lake County judge allowed him extra time to get a private attorney before being sent to Wisconsin. It's the racist judicial system is already working in his favor, right? You get this man extra time so he can get his affairs in order, so he can be prepared with his self-defense case or whatever the fuck else they're going to try to come with, right? Because already you got Donald Trump, you got the president of the United States already giving him a self-defense argument, right? He comes out nationally, and we're going to get into that here in a second, but just as it pertains to this particular conversation, he comes out and he says, well, he looks like they look like they were giving him to him pretty good. Look like they were getting ready to beat him up. They were going to do something to him, right? So you have the president of the United States, after 2 American citizens were just murdered in the streets, already giving this man a self-defense case. Now I keep referring to him like that because I'm not trying to see him charged as no fucking juvenile, but they already got him in the juvenile detention center, right? That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You grown enough to take your ass to a whole nother state with a fucking machine gun and slaughter 2 people, maim another person, take your punk ass to jail. What are you in the juvenile detention center for?
Part of the reason why I always use the greatest quote ever known to man, the Neely Fuller quote, which says, until you fully understand white supremacy, everything you think you understand, until you fully understand white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything you think you understand will only confuse you, right? Part of the reason I always use that, one, because it's the defining understanding of our position in America as black people. That's one. 2, because it makes clear that our entire existence is wrapped into that same social construct. We are also raised in the white supremacist system. So we think and move like white supremacists very often.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So at a lot of levels, we have to take everything that we've ever learned, internalized, and throw that shit in the trash. You know what I mean?
It's not real.
Because none of that shit is real, nor does it work for us. Right? So I get the argument, and a lot of times we come in here for entertainment's sake, and it's going back and forth banter, and it makes for good radio. But the reality of it is, until we accept our positioning, until we understand what it means to be in the cast, we will be always fighting from a flawed position. Right? It's like going into the boxing ring with your feet flat-footed. You're going to get knocked the fuck out. Quick. Because you're not standing in your proper polarity.
Right.
You're going to get knocked the fuck out.
Right.
It don't matter if you hit harder. It don't matter if you faster. You are coming to the fight flawed with your stance, so your balance is off, and you're going to get knocked the fuck out.
And it's because you were lying to yourself throughout the entire training process, saying, hey, we're the same fighter, right? I'm going to fight the same fight. No, you're not. He Mike Tyson, you Floyd Mayweather, right? You better get your shit together. You better learn how to duck and weave, get your defense, pick and choose your spots, throw your motherfucking punches. If you want to stand in the middle of that ring with Mike Tyson's going to knock your fucking head off.
Let's make a better analogy.
Okay.
He's Mike Tyson and you're Rocky Balboa. And I mean that in a sense like your ass is acting and pretending. They not. They not acting and pretending. They know what they're here for, and they came to knock your ass out. We put on the show. It's a very big difference. It's a very big difference. So understanding that proper polarity is it's integral. Right. So even in the conversation what we just had with Mike.
Sure.
Mike's perspective kind of irritates me in the sense that it specifically for the audience, right? Because I know nuance is important, and that's not to say nothing against Mike. I'm saying that I know how it runs out, even in our conversation, right? Without explicitly explaining that there's nuance to all the conversations, people get caught in the black or the white. right? It's very difficult to understand the gray.
Right.
It's black here or white here, and that's what the sides are. No,
Right.
but this whole shit is ran through the gray.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's why all the plays being made.
All the plays is being made in the motherfucking gray. And it's very difficult for everybody to see the goddamn gray. So, yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse is a motherfucking hero to a certain group of people.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's probably a hero to a large group of people who just won't publicly say he's a fucking hero to that group of people. Right? And he's a villain to another group of people. Right? But the people that he's a villain to are asking the people that he's a hero to punish him. How the fucking insane is that?
That's you on point. That's exactly what's
insane.
happening.
That's insane.
The very same people, the very same system that's been created and designed for him to go up there and be able to do what he did is now the very same people in the very same system that we expect to hold him accountable for.
And that's foolish.
That's asinine.
That's foolish.
It's just not real.
It's just foolish, man.
That's just not real. And so the question then becomes, how do we then respond? How do we then prepare ourselves to fight an opponent who's playing a different game than we are, or at least playing the same game by a different set of rules than we must play them by? How do we then prepare ourselves? And to that point, that's about where I can agree with Mike at, right? That's where I can say, okay, Mike, we in a fucking war here, and they armed to the teeth, and they've been preparing for since they was fucking 5 and 6 years old. We better start getting prepared too, because there's a fucking war going on outside nobody's safe from. This is I said what I said. We got to take a break. When we come back, President Donald Trump was in Kenosha. What the fuck is in Kenosha? I've been through Kenosha.
White folks.
You know what I'm saying? I've been. Hello, Wisconsin. I've been.
White people who vote Republican and cheese.
The leader of the free world was in Kenosha, and he had a lot of things to say. When we come back, we're going to break those things down. Herb and 2 here with you at 3 o'clock. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie. People in Illinois have been crying out for justice, equality, and fairness from their government for years. And it keeps getting worse. Unfair taxes, laws that unjustly imprison nonviolent offenders. The rich get richer, and the everyday people suffer. It's time for a change. And with your help, I'm here to do it. I'm asking for your support as I run for a U.S. Senator in 2020.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. In my life, I've gone from cotton field to corporate boardroom. I've seen great success and walked many roads. I know how it feels not to have. I'm asking you to vote for me for U.S. Senate for the state of Illinois. I can do the work that few others may not understand. A vote for me is a step in the right direction for our state and our country.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
This secure moment is brought to you by Secure Home and Automation, your premier authorized Bring security dealer. Home invasions occur every 23 seconds, fire every 85 seconds, and medical emergencies occur suddenly. In times like these, get Secured Home and Automation and an affordable wireless home alarm system with professional monitoring. This includes fast emergencies response, free security analysis, free equipment, and free installation. A limited time offer, be proactive. Call today, don't delay. 708-251-5069. That's 708-251-5069. Call now, 708-251-5069. Or visit our website, securehomeandautomation.com. Secure Home and Automation, where your life safety is our priority. It brings authorized dealers, certain restrictions apply.
Instead of blast from me, I'm right here. Ill Adidas, $400 jeans on me. Itchy with no safety, a loaded magazine on me. Southside, that's as wild as it gets. And no, I never sold crack, that's some house nigga shit. I'm not judging.
But every man that's a man got to stand by his principles, and I'm not budging.
Let's go. Stand in your proper polarity, too. Spit those bars, brother. This is I Said What I Said. His name is Toussaint Warner. My name is Herb Howard. Each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we get together right here on What's in It for the Black People Media. We are live from the Maze Said Studios and live on the Maze Jackson Facebook page. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Shout out to everybody tuning in on YouTube as well. We see y'all out there also. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Leave your comments as we go through. We'll read through as many of them as possible. As always, your input, it is valued. It is certainly appreciated. My brother, too, was patting himself on the back for how good his braids looks today. Shout out to his auntie for commenting them, and shout out to his cousin for hooking him up. If you want to hook your hair up, right? You need to go see my people over.
Look at that transition. Go, boy. Work it, JT. Work it.
You need to go holler at my people over at Solo Beauty, man. They will appreciate you. They will respect your business, unlike all these other beauty supply stores who are owned by others in our community. You need to go to Solo Beauty. It is located at 8158 South Cottage Grove. They can supply all of your hair care needs. They are open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, or you can find them online at www.solobeautysupply.com. Solo Beauty Supply, 8158 South Cottage Grove. 2.
Man, before we get into anything, though, real quick, I want to address 2 comments, right? One is from Rosalind Cook, and I want to say this in love and admiration, because I understand the perspective, or I understand the energy that the comment is coming from. And she says, I want you all to please stop all the profanity. Thank you. Right? And the reason I pointed that one out, because even in the context of the conversation we were just having, we were just talking about Khalid Browder, and he was a little boy who got sentenced to 3 years in jail for being falsely accused of stealing a book bag.
Right.
A book bag.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And we were juxtaposing that to Kyle Rittenhouse, who just shot 3 people, and really, there's been some reporting saying that he's shot 7 people.
Right, murdered 2 of them.
Right now, part of why we've always lost in the context of this American paradigm, and not always, but at least in recent history, is because we've been operating under the auspices of respectability politics. Right, and one of the things that we also talk about on this show is a zero-grade reliance on anything structurally white.
They say don't spit on the sidewalk. What must we do?
Don't spit on the sidewalk. I'm spitting globs of spit on the goddamn sidewalk. Right, the very nature of our existence has to be in opposition of those who oppress us.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so in regards to our cursing, in love, but I'm not standing down. What did the music just say? Every man that's a man got to stand by his principles, and I'm not budging.
Yeah,
I know who I'm talking to.
Yeah,
I know who I'm trying to communicate to. Yeah. I know what they're able to hear.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna keep communicating this way until they hear it.
The opposing side, they activate their Kyle Rittenhouses through their language. They spew the rhetoric that they need to spew to activate that type of behavior. We are trying to activate a certain behavior in our would-be Kyle Rittenhouses, because they exist, right? We call them the shooters, or they in the hood and they doing this and that, and they need to change their target, right? But the energy is valuable when you are in a war. We're absolutely in a war, and we are trying to engage a certain type of person. Now, could we talk? And this may be the last time I really address this too. Because it is what it is. We said what we said. We said it once. We've said it 1,000 times, right? Tu and I both are very, very capable of speaking in any way.
You about to say the King's English?
Yeah, we can speak the King's English, right?
This is your king.
Right.
This is your king.
But fuck that shit.
He's not my king.
Fuck that shit, right? We're saying it in a way like we feel it. And I don't even know who you said made the comment or made the request.
And it was in love too. I'm not trying to,
I don't know who said made the request that we please stop cursing, but we've addressed that. And me personally, I'm not really going to address it again. I don't curse a whole lot until y'all tell me to stop
the
cursing.
reason I brought it up, not just because of the fact that they just asked us not to curse so much. That wasn't what it's about for me.
I get you.
What it's about for me is that we operate under the auspices of this respectability political understanding when no one else is, right? We don't have room for that. Yeah. We don't have room to try to fit in, to align ourselves, to assimilate into white society. Assimilation by the very nature of the definition of it.
Yeah.
It erases what you already are.
Right.
And what we already are is authentic, and I'm going to stand on that.
Right.
And I think there's some value in that, and I think more of us need to find value in our authenticity.
I agree. So, asked and answered, moving on. Donald Trump, my man, shout out to the president. I think he's doing a phenomenal job.
You're an asshole.
Keep it up, Mr. President.
I'm not going with that.
I know you don't, but y'all know I'm not bullshitting though. You know this is really how I feel.
I know this is how you feel,
right? This is how I feel. This is how I felt since 2015.
Nuance though, Herb. Nuance. Understand who you're talking to, right?
I'm about to explain it.
I don't even disagree with you, but there's nuance in how you communicate that message.
I'm about to explain it. Because we on a new platform, and maybe some people haven't heard me say that before. And before y'all start going off, or feel free to go off. It's all good. Shout out to DS. She said, "Keep cursing. I love it." all of the Is Wiz OGs, man. I love y'all so much. You was a lot, Herb. You cuss like 40 going north. Oh, well, I guess I do cuss a lot. Fuck it. Point is this though. I think that in 2015, as soon as Bernie Sanders lost the primary to Hillary Clinton, I knew for a fact I wasn't going to vote for that lady. I didn't want anything status quo going into the Oval Office. I wanted a completely different approach to what is done at the White House. I would have preferred the difference come through positive change and positive legislation, which I believe Bernie Sanders could have brought about. But if it wasn't going to come positively, and I'm okay with it coming negatively, I need this shit to change. I want this system to come crashing down. And I said that in 2015, and I've said that ever since he won or didn't win, ever since he was put into the Oval Office, right? Donald Trump. He's doing a phenomenal job. I knew that he would bring this country to a place where you would start to see chinks in the armor and some opportunities will be created for black people to change our existence here in this country. Now, I've always prefaced that with two things. One, I'm fully aware that a lot of times things will get worse before they get better. I'm fully aware of the danger that comes along with what I'm saying. And I also understand that in order for us to seize that opportunity when it comes, we have to be prepared. We have to have done the groundwork. We have to be unified and organized in a way, which quite frankly, I don't think we are yet. But that doesn't take away from the phenomenal job that President Trump is doing of creating that opportunity.
I also kind of want to
keep it up, Mr. President.
I think there's a little bit of a fallacy in regards to that construct of that idea that we got to be organized and unified.
Oh.
And I mean that in the sense of, like, when you think about the Cuban Revolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fidel Castro and Che Guevara, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they landed on the island of Cuba, they was 80 men, right? And they were there to take over to fight the Batistas, essentially, right? The minute they landed on the island of Cuba, right, out of the 80, 67 of them motherfuckers, no, 63 of them motherfuckers got murdered, like immediately.
Just like when we tried to storm the beach at Normandy.
Touch the ground, boom, boom,
right?
right?
We stormed the beach at Normandy, open the things.
They fired on their ass. Right? As soon as they touched the soil, they fired their ass up, killed 63 of them, which leaves 17 left. 17 left to defeat a fucking army.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Now, a lot of people, Fidel Castro and Che Guevara. Che Guevara specifically, though, kind of got popularized maybe in the last 10 years in our community regarding a Jay-Z line, right? Che Guevara would bling on I'm complex, right? So the part of the rhyme that he says, well, he's complex, right? Che Guevara essentially graduated for what would have been like, I think it was Panama's, like, it would have been like Panama's version of Harvard, right? Che Guevara was fucking brilliant. You understand what I'm saying? But he was also a guerrilla in the warfare or guerrilla warfare field. Like, he was a dangerous motherfucker.
Yeah.
He was notorious for putting pistols in people's mouths, right?
Yeah, he's about that action.
So his conviction, right? Fidel Castro didn't have that same kind of conviction. It's also like the story of Toussaint Louverture and D. Celine, right? Toussaint is noted as the greatest guy or the warrior, but D. Celine was the one who was kicking ass.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm named Toussaint, so I don't say
Toussaint
that.
Toussaint was the thinker. He had
Toussaint was the first version of Barack Obama. That's true shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But D. Celine was on some Khaled X shit. Like, I'm killing all you motherfuckers. Right. Che Guevara was the same kind of way.
Under that act.
Right? So when they killed everybody, when they landed on the shores, the Che Guevara and Fidel Castro and the rest of the 17 kind of had to escape to the hills of Cuba. And they had to regroup. And the way they regrouped and built up a new army was by going into the homes of the farmers in the hills and putting pistols in their mouth and say, you finna do what the fuck I tell you to do.
Yes, you are.
And if you don't do what the fuck I tell you to do, I'm gonna blow your fucking brains out. Right? And I'm not saying that's the strategy, but
it works.
It was effective.
I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse.
It was effective. So in essence, it was 17 men after the original 80, after 63 was killed, that legitimately took over fucking Cuba. Now, the United States shitted on Cuba from that point forward.
Sure.
And made Cuba what it is, but it depends on how you look at it.
Sure.
Right? It's perspective.
It is.
Right? So oftentimes we come to this kind of euphoric idea of the only way we can be successful in anything is this. That's bullshit. It's just like a mouse. Like you run his ass into a corner, he's going to fight the fuck back.
Period.
But if he got freedom to run, he's going to run. At some point, you got to stand the
Fight or
fuck
flight.
up. Fight or flight.
Mhm.
So in the point that you're making about Trump, I absolutely see it. I wish we didn't have to go that far, right? But he is pushing us there. And it's not just Trump. This is a cyclical thing.
Oh, yeah.
Part of one of the videos we're going to play, and we're going to put Showtime to play the Trump video in a second. But the very next video after that, we're going to talk about the Kerner Commission report, which was 1968, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's the same conversation being rehashed. So it's not like this is new shit. We keep walking in this kind of cyclical movement. We got to lay that motherfucking circle out and make a road.
We have to be able to make a road. We have to be able to build a new existence for ourselves. One thing I did leave out of the rundown, and pardon me for that, because it's a really important thing that we want to get to later on. There's a group of people, black people, families, who have bought a large plot of land with the intention of building a bit of a black utopia, right? That is a conversation that we are going to have later on in the 2 o'clock hour. Stick around for that. But right now, Showtime. Can you cue up the video of President Trump speaking so elegantly in Kenosha?
Local leaders like the mayor and the governor, he said he wanted to go there to unite a divided city. But while he was on the ground there in Kenosha, he never once said the name Jacob Blake. On a charred block of Kenosha, Wisconsin, President Trump pushing his law and order rallying cry.
This should never happen. A thing like this should never happen.
Coming to the defense of police.
You have some bad apples, we all know that, and those will be taken care of through the system, and nobody's going to be easy on them either. And you have people that choke. They're under tremendous pressure.
And when asked if he believes there is systemic racism, he went after protesters instead.
You have anarchists, and you have the looters, and you have the rioters, you have all types, you have agitators, and that's what you should be focusing on with your question.
On that visit,
that's what you should be focusing on. Focus on the people who are doing the uprising, right? Never mind the people who are doing the killing, right? The people that's out here demonstrating and uprising, they are the real problem. And in essence, not only are you demeaning those people, but what you're simultaneously doing and intentionally doing is inciting that other side to say, hey, go out there, kill them motherfuckers. Drive in your car. Get your mama to drive you from Illinois to Wisconsin, put you out the car with AR-15, and wait for your opportunity to defend yourself. Mike Brown, that's for you, brother. I see you in here. Shout out to you for being here. But you know that's some bullshit.
Yeah, but see, law and order is the push that they're making right now, right? That's almost like a code word for nigga. You understand what I'm saying? Law and order. There was another video I had to my Facebook. I couldn't find it today, but I would have gave it to Showtime to air it. But there was a Polk County sheriff that was basically saying, you know, he specifically talked about certain counties and certain residents. Said, I know y'all got guns.
Yeah.
Use them.
Yeah.
That's code word for it's open season on niggas. I used to live in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Yeah. Right. This is true shit. And I don't remember the season, but it was definitely during school time. In Cedar Rapids, there becomes a point when the deers overpopulate the city. It just is what it is. Like I wake up in the morning and I could walk out my door and there'd be a deer on my front step. Like this shit was insane coming from a city boy perspective.
Sure.
But when that happens, what they do is they open season
It's
on
open
deer.
season.
Like you could legitimately
You gotta get
hunt
rid of 'em.
deer in the city limits.
Yeah.
And that shit is, you see people riding down streets all day with deers in the back of their cars and the trunks.
Yeah.
Shit is wild.
Yeah.
For a city boy to see that country shit happening
Right.
in plain view.
Right.
That's what that sheriff in Polk County was absolutely saying.
Yeah.
It's open season on these niggas.
It's open season on these niggas.
Because and that's the same thing that the basis of the Kerner report is based in. It's open season on these niggas.
When we come back from this break, we are going to play the audio of the Kerner report. We're going to listen to it. I want you, while we're listening to it, think about the times we were in then. Think about the times we're in now. That will be the conversation when we come back. Herb and 2 here with you at 3 o'clock. This is I Said What I Said. Be right back.
This secure moment is brought to you by Secure Home and Automation, your premier authorized Bring security dealer. Home invasions occur every 23 seconds, fire every 85 seconds, and medical emergencies occur suddenly. In times like these, get secured home and automation and an affordable wireless home alarm system with professional monitoring. This includes fast emergencies response, free security analysis, free equipment, and free installation. A limited time offer, be proactive. Call today, don't delay. 708-251 708-251-5069. That's 708-251-5069. Call now, 708-251-5069, or visit our website, securehomeandautomation.com. Secure Home and Automation, where your life safety is our priority. It brings authorized dealers. Certain restrictions apply.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. In my life, I've gone from cotton field to corporate boardroom. I've seen great success and walked many roads. I know how it feels not to have. I'm asking you to vote for me for U.S. Senate for the state of Illinois. I can do the work that few others may understand. A vote for me is a step in the right direction for our state and our country.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. People in Illinois have been crying out for justice, equality, and fairness from their government for years. And it keeps getting worse. Unfair taxes, laws that unjustly imprison nonviolent offenders. The rich get richer, and the everyday people suffer. It's time for a change, and with your help, I'm here to do it. I'm asking for your support as I run for a U.S. Senator in 2020.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Is it really a good idea to have the same senator for 3 generations? I support term limit for all elected officials. Our senators need to bring home growth for our business community, jobs, housing, service for our senior citizens, and health care. We need new ideas and new approach to federal representation. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington, D.C. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
That's Mickey. You can take it how you want, but you can never be me. You can fake it how you want. I spit that uncut raw. You can bake it how you want. Break it down any way you like. You get the same result. Get in tune. The elephant in the room. That's not
pole position when I assume.
Who was that spitting?
That is the greatest Chicago rapper of all time ever.
Bump J.
No, sir. That is Mickey Halsted. But Bump is like a strong 2 or 3.
Fuck with Bump heavy, man.
I fuck with Bump heavy too. To me, it's Mick, Common, and Bump.
Okay, I can rock with that.
Mick, Common, and Bump is my 3 favorite Chicago rappers.
I can rock with that. I can also rock with each and every one of you all who are choosing to rock with us. We greatly appreciate you all being here. This is I Said What I Said every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. We get together right here with you and discuss issues that are impacting the black community live on What's In It for the Black People Media, live on the Maze Jackson Facebook page. We greatly appreciate it. What's the timeout for?
Wait, time out, man. We got to address this comment. And we only going to address this comment because we was talking about Salim Muwakil a minute ago. We called him the Black Forrest Gump.
Oh, he is.
Salim Muwakil has found his way into everything that has happened in the black world since he was born.
In the world. United States, abroad.
So we was talking about the Kerner report a minute ago, and Salim has a comment that says, hey, man, I was hired by the Associated Press because of the Kerner Commission report damning the verdict on the apartheid media. Salim has been everywhere.
It's not a fucking game.
He was at everything, man.
You bring up anything to Salim, right? Bring up anything to Salim. Everything. And he be like, oh, yeah.
You remember when Mike
Me and Malcolm was over here like...
You remember when Mike came out with the air bubble?
Like, he is literally... Forrest Gump. He is literally Black Forrest Gump. Man. He's been everywhere.
Spike Lee filled that first Michael Jordan commercial. What it be like, Mike? That's
one of the people who just want to be a part of something. So they make. You know how you got them. Some people want to be a part of everything. They make up them stories. Oh, I was there for that. I was there for that. They don't really know shit about it. So let them know everything about everything. He was actually there in some way, shape, or form. Salim Muwakil is Forrest Gump. Oh, hey Maze.
Shout out to Lupe too. I see that. I see the Lupe mentioned in the top Chicago artists. Lupe does have he's probably the best lyricist in all time ever for hip hop. It's just too complex for most people.
Yeah.
What'd you call him Maze for, man? We don't want to give him any acclaim because that's just gonna raise his ratings and we're trying to beat him.
Well, I was about to make sure that I was about to confirm that I could actually make this announcement. But this is I Said What I Said, so it's already too late. I'm about to say it.
Nah, I shouldn't do that.
Salim Muwakil is joining the What's In It for the Black People Media family. Can't fucking wait for that. I don't know exactly when. I don't know the exact time, but I will be tuned in, and I'll let y'all know as soon as those details are set in stone. But shout out to that. I walked into the studio today, and I saw Salim Muwakil here, and I was like, damn, y'all did too good on Friday. I'm gone now, huh? It's over with for me, huh?
They're replacing the homie. I need you in the one seat, G. I need you in the one seat. Get it together.
Hey, I appreciate that. No. But anyway, the Kerner report. Give us a little bit of background before we ask Showtime to play the clip.
So the Kerner Report was a commission that was commissioned after really a whole year of rioting, right? But it was 1968, and Detroit riots is what really, really pushed the envelope, right? Lyndon B. Johnson pushed this idea to have this report made, and it was about, I think the guy's name was Otto Kerner, but he was actually the Illinois governor at the time, I believe, right? And it was like 41 people that was killed in Detroit behind rioting.
Salim was at Black Jesus Crucifix.
Yeah, I saw that, right? But to the point of the Kerner Report,
Jesus
it basically it's like I think it's, if I remember correctly, because I don't have it in front of me, but it's like a 60, 70 page document, you know, and it basically breaks down that the violence in the black community, the riot in the black community of the time was based on the discrepancies in our lifestyles and economics and our poverty. You know what I mean? And these are conversations that we don't really accept or dive deep in today, right? And really the Kerner Report talks about how it really breaks down that we're a caste.
July 28, 1967. This is the
Hello.
report.
Hello, welcome to AP Sources Simplified. Today we are looking at the report by the Kerner Commission, which was organized by President Lyndon Johnson. The report was released in 1968 and detailed many of the racial problems that plagued American society. In the 1950s and 60s, the civil rights movement had made incredible legal progress. From the Brown v. Board decision that called for schools to be desegregated, several presidential actions like President Eisenhower's sending in federal troops to escort black students to school in Little Rock. And the movement seemed to culminate with the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which legally banned many types of discrimination, and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which struck down poll taxes and literacy tests, which had kept black Americans from achieving any sort of political representation for decades. However, these events and acts did not resolve the social and economic inequalities in society. By the mid to late 1960s, many civil rights and protest movements began to splinter, with some groups taking a much more militant stance. In the African-American civil rights movement, there had always been different philosophical approaches going all the way back to the late 1800s, with Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois. In the 1950s and early 1960s, MLK had a counterpart in Malcolm X, who offered a more black social and economic liberation movement that was not dependent upon a white assistance approach. In the mid to late 1960s, the more confrontational Black Power movement and Black Panthers picked up steam. This more confrontational approach, also fueled by the deep poverty, systemic racism, and lack of opportunity for black youth, manifested in riots occurring over the course of several summers in major cities across the U.S. The riots of 1967, however, were the most serious, engulfing 22 cities in July and August. 43 people were killed in Detroit alone, nearly all of them black, and $50 million worth of property was destroyed. President Johnson called in the National Guard and U.S. Army troops. In 1967, the worst of the riots occurred in 22 cities across the United States over the course of 2 months. While black leaders understood why the riots were happening, they tried to calm them. MLK went to one of the worst hit areas of the riots, Watts, Los Angeles. His appearance did not have the intended effect, as he was even heckled by the crowd, with one person shouting, "We don't need your dreams, we need jobs." President Johnson, dismayed by the violence, organized a presidential commission to study and produce a report on the situation. This will be led by Illinois Governor Otto Kerner.
So, we're going to break this video up into 2 parts, right? Now, the reason I wanted to play that first part, because it really exemplifies everything that's happening on the grounds for us right now today, right? So, we think about 1964 police shooting leads to a week of rioting in New York City, right? 1965, Watson, L.A. riot starts and 34 people are killed. 1967, riots erupt across 22 cities in 2 months, right? That's from 1964 to 1967. That's 3 years, right? Now, that was about, I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's roughly around somewhere like 70, 80 people got killed.
Right.
I just saw a printout of all of the notable police murder names that we know about.
Right.
The notables.
Right.
The notables are the notables for a reason. That's not the number, though.
No, hell no.
Right? The number is very different than the notables.
Than the notables, yeah.
Right? So when you break down the notables, I think we're somewhere around that same number, around like 60-something notables. And it's not maybe in the same amount of time, but maybe over a 10-year period.
Sure.
Right? So everything that's played out in the 60s is playing out today. It's playing out in the exact same fashion. We're responding in the exact same fashion, right? That's why this report is like it's like Nostradamus. You can read the report and know what the solutions were used and how we're leveraging them today because we're having the same exact conversations and what end we're going to come to. So when we think about it from that standpoint, from my mind, instead of just reliving history or revisiting history, let's not. Well, why not be radicalized and change some shit?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So we're going to, I know we're going to break in a second.
Yeah.
But there's a second part to this video, too, that we're going to kind of go slide through, understand how the report kind of played out or what they found in the report.
Okay. We've been trying the same things, right? We've been trying the same things to try and overcome these issues for a very, very long time. We have to try something new. And I understand that there's for whatever reason, there's a negative connotation associated with the word radical. All it really means is something other than the usual, right? A little bit outside of the box, right? Something other people aren't really thinking about doing. I don't find it to be a negative term at all, but there's a negative connotation kind of associated with the word. And so this idea that we can continue one more good election, right? If we go to the polls and everybody votes, then everything will change. How the hell is Joe Biden about to change the circumstances for black people in this country? Where's that coming from? Where's this belief that
he's not even offered to change the circumstances for black people in this country?
I read a comment from a sister named Emma, and I forget her last name, so forgive me, Sister Emma, about getting Joe Biden in there will also mean that we're getting people like Maxine Waters and others in there and getting those Republicans out of there. That's fine, but the Democrats have been in power before. It's never meant anything for us. There was a whole black man in that office, or dark-skinned man in that office.
Very dark skin. That's very different. And he wasn't even very dark skin. He was like a light caramel, honey brown.
He was macchiato as hell.
Mauve, would you say?
Listen, we got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to listen to part 2 of that Kerner report. We're going to continue that conversation, and we'll take your phone calls at 872-259-7474, 872-259-7474. Herb and Tool here with you for another hour. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. In my life, I've gone from cotton field to corporate boardroom. I've seen great success and walked many roads. I know how it feels not to have. I'm asking you to vote for me for U.S. Senate for the state of Illinois. I can do the work that few others may not understand. A vote for me is a step in the right direction for our state and our country.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. People in Illinois have been crying out for justice, equality, and fairness from their government for years. And it keeps getting worse. Unfair taxes, laws that unjustly imprison nonviolent offenders. The rich get richer, and the everyday people suffer. It's time for a change, and with your help, I'm here to do it. I'm asking for your support as I run for a U.S. Senator in 2020.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Is it really a good idea to have the same senator for 3 generations? I support term limit for all elected officials. Our senators need to bring home growth for our business community, jobs, housing, service for our senior citizens, and health care. We need new ideas and new approach to federal representation. I'm Willie Wilson.
Is it like a school court? Isn't it? Is that me? Or is that something?
What's that? y'all for that as well. We are back live again, and thank y'all so much for telling me. Gardis, I appreciate you saying that the sound is out, and Patah, I appreciate you saying that the sound is out. That was my mistake. We got it back up. Had to switch out some things during the break. But we are back live. I appreciate y'all for jumping back in. Again, this is I Said What I Said. My name is Herb. His name is Tu. Each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we get together right here at What's In It for the Black People Media, live from the Maze Said Studios, live on the Maze Jackson page on Facebook and on YouTube. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube. We appreciate y'all. We see y'all over there as well. Sorry about the audio issue. That was my fault. I simply had hit the mute button on y'all. That was all my fault, y'all. But I appreciate y'all for rocking in. I see y'all telling me. I love the I Said What I Said family, man. Y'all be on it, right? We say something, we can't quite get the name. Y'all know exactly what show we talking about, what person we're referring to. Y'all do research. Y'all pull up the years and statistics and all that.
How community works, baby.
That's how community works. That is what it looks like, right? So we appreciate y'all. We absolutely love y'all to death. Talking about the Kerner Report. We played one clip. We're going to play another one. And while you are listening, consider the state of the times back then and juxtapose them. I don't even know if it's a juxtaposition, really, to the state of times right now. It's the second part of that Kerner Report.
Now, taking a look at the key points of the report, it provided both causes of the situation and possible remedies. First, on the causes, can be summed up with this line from the report. Our nation is moving toward two societies, one black and one white, separate and unequal. Again, it is important to think about the context. This is after the Civil and Voting Rights Acts. So while those were great pieces of legislation, they did not change the day-to-day struggle felt by many black Americans. The report did not excuse the rioters, but put their actions into context with their hopeless situation, as they had been shut out of a white-dominated society with no real economic opportunity to live out the American dream. For a solution, the report called for a costly and drastic aid to black communities. Unless programs were quickly created to help the situation, the report said that there would be a, quote, continuing polarization of the American community and ultimately the destruction of basic democratic values. Now, taking a look at the report's intentions, it is from the point of view of politicians, many of whom had experience in dealing with race relations and riots, and their purpose was to create an honest and forthright government report about race. Finally, let's take a look at the legacy of the report. President Johnson mostly rejected the report. In my speculation, I believe this is because he felt he was in the process of tackling the problem with his Great Society and War on Poverty programs already in place. However, the public, scared by the riots, would turn away from liberalism in the 1968 election and towards Richard Nixon, who promised a conservative approach and a return to law.
No, it was going to say a return to law and order. It's cool. We ain't got to play it no more. So, essentially, man, President Johnson called for this Kerner Report to be made, right? Based on the disparities in the black community. They came to the consensus that, you know, America was moving toward two societies. Now, that's a lie in itself, right? Moving toward two societies versus being rooted in being two societies, two different conversations. But the report said that America, our nation is moving toward two societies, one black, one white, separate and unequal. And just to provide some context, this is after the Civil Rights Voting Act. You understand what I'm saying? The report did not accuse rioters, but their hopeless situations in context, shut out of white-dominated society, no opportunity to live the American dream. The report called for an expanded aid to black communities, right? Unless the programs were quickly created to help the situation, the report said there will be a continuing polarization of the American community and ultimately the destruction of basic democratic values. Now, what's that really mean? That means motherfucking reparations. That's what that means, right? So everything that we've incurred during that time, we're incurring once again in America, right? We had a conversation a few weeks back about the looters in downtown Chicago. Right. And, you know, we was under the assumption that they were looting because of the young boy who who really kind of got misidentified as being shot by the police. I think it was. I don't remember the boy's name. And then there was also the George Floyd incident that kicked off the rioters downtown. And although all of those incidents are attributed to those people who got shot or the police brutality incidents attached to them, the reality of it is just, man, we poor.
Right.
And we're going to take advantage of any opportunity we can to eat.
Truth.
And what that looked like was the opportunity to eat.
Truth.
You know what I mean? And it's the same goddamn information that the report from 1968 comes out and speaks about. Like, it's almost like, you know, we keep having the same conversations over and over. We cannot, what's the definition of crazy? Keep doing the same shit and expecting a different result.
Right.
We cannot keep doing the same shit
Right.
and expecting a different result. But it's interesting to me because the rule book and the playbook, it's not a new playbook.
No.
Right? It's like watching the team for 77,000 fucking years and can't figure out how to beat them. Right? And the only way that works is this because we're not vested. We're not deeply vested in understanding who we are and how to overcome our situation because we found comfort in our oppression. Right? This is not a new story legitimately. You're listening to this report probably for the first time.
Yeah.
And it's legitimately laying out the experience of our lives to fucking day.
Same thing.
It's not new shit, man.
Not at all.
And if it's not new shit, then what is it in us that is keeping us from preventing to leverage solutions or identify solutions if it's not new shit? I tend to think we from the greatest genealogy on the planet. I think
agree.
we're just some of the smartest people that the planet's ever seen.
I agree.
You know, some of the most talented, some of the most athletic, some of the most deeply spiritual.
I agree.
Why the fuck can't we find solutions?
I think that, to be honest with you, I think it's rooted in fear, right? I think it's rooted in a fear that was, I don't know, put in us from day one. I'm talking about leaving the shores of West Africa, right? I'm talking about arriving here and the biggest, baddest, or toughest, right, amongst us, the person who had the most gumption amongst us, got off that boat and said, fuck y'all, I ain't doing shit. And they killed him dead in front of everybody, or her dead in front of everybody. That fear causes you to not move anymore. It kind of paralyzes you. And then when we get to a space where now we feel like, okay, we've arrived, we can begin to assimilate ourselves deeper into this culture, then it becomes a psychological thing where now it's not even just about this emotional fear of actually what I've seen, but now it's right in my brain. I really believe that I'm a part of this shit now, and you aren't, right? And so you think that if I'm a part of it, then there must be a way for me to navigate my way through it within the parameters that have been set by this very same system. And as you said, that's insanity. You're not going to come from that. What do you say about trying to find healing in some you can't find sanity in insane society? Something you be saying like that?
Yeah, you know, it's no sign of sanity to assimilate fully into an insane society.
Right. It doesn't even make sense, right? But we kind of convince ourselves that we can play this game well enough to have positive outcomes for ourselves.
So let's see. Let me do my what's the thing Tina Turner was doing in the movie? Woosah. That wasn't what it was. She was like, no, ring yang kekio.
No, I get the woosah from Bad Boys.
The reason I got a yo re kekio is because while you're talking, I'm reading comments.
Read them.
Right?
Come with it.
And whenever I don't want to say argument, I got in a debate with my aunt last week, you know, and she told me that if I didn't vote for Biden, I was voting for Trump. And I said, no, if I didn't vote for Biden, I didn't vote for Biden. That's all that fucking means. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, we don't understand the context of nuance. Right? I just said we always think shit is black or white when the whole game is being played in the gray. There's a few comments on here I want to address. And as we're having this conversation while playing a rehash of the Kerner report that was made in 1967, 1968, somewhere around that time. Right? This shit was before I was on this planet. Right? So it's interesting to me that this conversation was happening before I was on this planet. But my decision not to follow along with what Mr. Charlie say makes me the goddamn definitive of the problem.
Yeah.
Right?
That toxic
I'm
masculinity.
being blamed for shit that's been going on since we've landed on this damn soil because I refuse to follow behind Mr. Charlie.
And what was the comment?
Nuance. Listen. So I gotta find the comment. Here it is. It says, what is the game plan if Trump gets reelected to help black people? What would black people do differently in the next 4 years under Trump that they didn't do under these 4 years of Trump? First of all, that's a conflated argument as well. Right. Black people have been doing a plethora of different shit under these 4 years of Trump, right? During this primary season, which you got to see, which I guarantee you've never seen before in your life, was a conversation of reparations on the primary stage. You've never seen that before.
No.
That didn't show up because those good white folks decided to give Negroes some money.
Right.
That showed up because of what was happening on the grounds. But we only pay attention when white people say, pay attention.
Right.
But see, there's a group of black people moving on the grounds that's making white people pay attention to black issues. We got to be cognizant of what's happening above the fray and below the fray. We got to know what's in the gray. We only see what's in the black or what's in the white. Those good white folks did not bring up reparations because they felt like talking about giving niggas some money.
Out of the kindness of their heart.
That's not out of the kindness of their heart.
No.
That is about movement on the grounds, pushing the agendas that was not able to be pushed in generations before me. So what's been happening during this Trump presidency is something that no other generation has really been able to accomplish.
Right.
Make white people own up to the dastardly effects of slavery, racism, Jim Crow, in private prisons,
Right.
industrial prison complex.
Right.
So we've done a lot under these 4 years of Trump. But it wasn't about the 4 years of Trump. It's about, and I'm going to say this on purpose, it's about younger black folks identifying who they are. It's about younger black folks understanding that the movement is in the understanding of your own identity.
Got to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue to unpack that. That is Toussaint Werner. He is one half of the I Said What I Said team. Appreciate y'all so much for being here. My name is Herb. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. In my life, I've gone from cotton field to corporate boardroom. I've seen great success and walked many roads. I know how it feels not to have. I'm asking you to vote for me for U.S. Senate for the state of Illinois. I can do the work that few others may understand. A vote for me is a step in the right direction for our state and our country.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. People in Illinois have been crying out for justice, equality, and fairness from their government for years. And it keeps getting worse. Unfair taxes, laws that unjustly imprison nonviolent offenders. The rich get richer, and the everyday people suffer. It's time for a change, and with your help, I'm here to do it. I'm asking for your support as I run for a U.S. Senator in 2020.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
This secure moment is brought to you by Secure Home and Automation, your premier authorized Bring security dealer. Home invasions occur every 23 seconds, fire every 85 seconds, and medical emergencies occur suddenly. In times like these, get secured home and automation and an affordable wireless home alarm system with professional monitoring. This includes fast emergencies response, free security analysis, free equipment, and free installation. A limited time offer, be proactive. Call today, don't delay. 708-251-5069. That's 708-251-5069. Call now, 708-251-5069. Or visit our website, securehomeandautomation.com. Secure Home and Automation, where your life safety is our priority. It brings authorized dealers. Certain restrictions apply.
Is it really a good idea to have the same senator for 3 generations? I support term limit for all elected officials. Our senators need to bring home growth for our business community, jobs, housing, service for our senior citizens, and healthcare. We need new ideas and new approach to federal representation. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington, D.C. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Is it really a good idea to have the same senator for 3 generations? I support term limit for all elected officials. Our senators need to bring home growth for our business community, jobs, housing, service for our senior citizens, and healthcare. We need new ideas and new approach to federal representation. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington, D.C. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
This secure moment is brought to you by Secure Home and Automation, your premier authorized Bring security dealer. Home invasions occur every 23 seconds, fire every 85 seconds, and medical emergencies occur suddenly. In times like these, get secured home and automation and an affordable wireless home alarm system with professional monitoring. This includes fast emergencies response, free security analysis, free equipment, and free installation. A limited time offer, be proactive. Call today, don't delay. 708-251-5069. That's 708-251-5069. Call now, 708-251-5069. Or visit our website, securehomeandautomation.com. Secure Home and Automation, where your life safety is our priority. It brings authorized dealers. Certain restrictions apply.
You and I, two minds steadily manifested on thoughts. Do or die, I'm saying it's you and I. Two soldiers about to do this pickup, pick 'em up. Do or die, I'm saying it's you and I. It's you and I.
And we are back live from the Maysaid Studios here. What's in it for the Black People Media? This is I Said What I Said. Tucson Warner, Herb Howard here with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. Thank y'all so much for choosing to tune in. We greatly appreciate it. Listen to me. Do not strike out. Make sure you tune in and catch World Series champion Chicago Cubs outfielder Jason Hayward on The Soil with the Bigs, starring Eugene and Terrence. That's this Thursday.
Shout out to the Bigs.
The Bigs handling business. September 3rd at 1 p.m. right here on What's in it for the Black People Media. They will have the 5-time Gold Glove winning outfielder Jason Hayward. Jay Hay will be on with the Bigs this Thursday at 1 p.m.
You know anything about baseball?
I do.
What's Golden Glove mean, you know?
Gold Gloves means that you are the best defensive player at a given position. So Jason Hayward plays right field. He was voted as the top right fielder in baseball 5 times. He won the Gold Glove for right field. Each position gets one.
So low-key, Gene was like a superstar baseball player when we were shorties, right? Eugene from the Bigs is a superstar baseball player.
Okay.
I ain't never had no interest in baseball. I thought that was the most ass sport ever existed in human existence. Oh, that was an ass sport. I played it for like 2 days. Like, I can't take this shit.
Say, fuck it. I think I like baseball. It's pretty fun. Two, before we went to break, brother, you were I would say in rare form, but it's not really rare. But I get excited when you get riled up like that. When you start really talking that talk. One thing I always said, you start shaking the table. Right?
I do. I can't help it, man.
That's what I like. And we did that one photo shoot for I Said What I Said, and I had that one picture where you was banging on the table. I was like, this completely sums up what I Said What I Said is. 2 bang on the table, and I look at him like, man, what the hell is wrong with you? And so, but I like when he didn't shut the table.
That's my version of Lauryn Hill's line when she says, "I add a motherfucker so the ignorant niggas hear me."
Mm-hmm.
My banging on the table is my motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
I dig it. I feel what you were saying. I had to cut you off because we were going to break. But do you want to continue to elaborate on that?
Not really, man. Not any more than this, right? It's interesting to me how the Democratic Party, or just how the mainstream media has created this paradigm where they've made Trump a black problem, right? We didn't elect Trump in the first damn place. That's not our problem, nor is it our responsibility. We came out for the Democratic Party at a 90% clip. Trump's election or his defaulting on America is not my problem. You put this shit in here, you deal with this shit.
Right.
And from that vantage point, I have a different agenda. We should have a different agenda. Our agenda should be self-interest at all times. America's interests should only concern us when they're feeding us, because America's not interested in us.
Which they aren't.
Right? Because when if America's not interested in me, then I have to have a separate understanding of my own interests.
Right.
And I have to fight for that. Right? So who elected Trump? Right? White women elected Trump and white men elected Trump. That's who elected Trump, period. We as black people came out of the 90% clip for the Democratic Party, as we always do for the Democratic Party.
Which is why
we don't get shit from the Democratic Party.
They take our vote for granted.
Right? So I'm not saying this to kind of badmouth the Democrats. No. I think there's one party.
Fuck them all.
It's one party, and it's the Power Party, the white Power Party. It is what it is, right? It's so interesting to me to see how well the media machine works, right?
Oh.
Racism has been transferred to Republican, right? As if Democrats can't be racist. Bullshit. The construct, the concept, the whole identity of this country is steered and steeped in racism. It is what it is.
Facts.
My interests and your interests are not shared interests because we've never had shared opportunities, shared responsibilities, or shared economic outcomes. It is what it is.
Right. We not having.
We ain't sharing shit.
We not sharing anything.
We ain't
right?
sharing shit.
Y'all-
I'm just eating the pain. That's it.
That's it.
As the shit rolls down the hill, it
lands
becomes
on me.
my responsibility.
Right.
I'm trying to get up the motherfucking hill.
Right.
Fuck what you talking about at the top.
Right.
Unless you bringing the rope down here,
Right.
what you talk about means shit to me.
Right.
Period.
And we don't want the rope you coming with because we seen what y'all do with ropes, right? We ain't interested in y'all ropes. Keep y'all motherfucking ropes to yourself because we're developing a new way of responding to that kind of shit, right? We got a younger generation of warriors, and I'm talking younger than me, right? Like they didn't grow up with that same mentality of being scared of whitey like that. They don't really move like that, right? And with that kind of energy, right? They haven't had access to it. I think the access has been restricted for so long that we've been so far removed from it where they don't even have those aspirations no more, right? They don't even have the aspiration of saying, okay, well, I'm gonna go to high school, I'm gonna go to a good college, I'm gonna get me a good job, I'm gonna work in corporate America, I'm gonna work for 40 years, I'm gonna retire, I'm gonna get me a white picket fence and a dog, and they not with that at all, right?
They've lost hope because they know it's not real.
They know it's bullshit,
right? We got to be understanding of this, right? In America, wealth is calcified, right? Which makes the balance of the wealth transference in America unstable. It's extremely top heavy, while the bottom is suffering in poverty, right? What used to be considered the middle class is now evaporated. There's no such thing as the middle class, right? You might live in a house that looks like a middle class living, but you don't own that. The bank owns that shit. And if you lose whatever opportunity you got to make, whatever little money you got for 2 weeks, you won't own that home any fucking more. Which means that your ass is as poor as the dude at the very end of that poor spectrum. The middle class in America is a motherfucking illusion.
Period.
It's an illusion, right? But think about this, though. The only black people that's even been able to leverage that.
Smoking mirrors like Raw.
That's even being able to leverage the illusion have to be hooked to the baby boomer generation. Because that was the only generation in black America that has ever capitalized off American equity. That's it. None before it, none after it, right? And it's interesting because where the marketing mind gets manipulated is that those who profited off of legislation, they dumbasses seem to think they pulled themselves up from their bootstraps. They seem to think they did some shit that no one else before them was able to do.
Which is a lie.
Right? And then when they look at their predecessor, or when they look at their children, when they look at the generations after them, they wonder why or what's wrong with Lil JoJo, or what's wrong with Lil Jamal, or what's wrong with Lil Trayvon. Lil Trayvon did not benefit from the legislation you've benefited from.
Period.
So he's eating the shit that's rolling down the hill.
Right.
But you don't recognize it as shit.
Right.
You recognize it as Lil Trayvon unwillingness to pull his boots up. When Lil Trayvon is probably the exact same person you was at the exact same age with just not the same opportunity.
Yeah. But what I'm proud of is a little bit more gumption, right? Right. Let's talk. I mean, I know you weren't literally referring to Trayvon Martin, right? But for the sake of conversation, the gumption that you ain't finna follow me home. Fuck you, right? So all these videos we see going around right now, where you got grown ass people, right, being stopped and accosted or whatever by white people, and that it turned into a video of a grown ass man crying in his truck. All these white people won't let me pass. Trayvon Martin said, "Dude, I will beat your ass. Stop following me." Period. Cost him his life, right? I get that piece. And so that may tell other people, well, I'm not going to do it. But you got to understand, death got to be on the table because they're killing you anyway.
But in that vein, though, right? So when Trayvon takes that kind of a loss, the men in that community got to be ready to ride for Trayvon and not just protest and yell in the streets, right?
Immediately.
A bully respects a bully, man.
And nothing else.
That's it.
872-259-7474, 872-259-7474. If you would like to join the conversation, as always, your input is valued. It is certainly appreciated. Shout out to all of you all watching live on the Maze Jackson page on Facebook, and to you all watching on YouTube. We see you all as well. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for the stars. If you want to contribute to the show, please, please, please click that little gold star down in the bottom right corner of your screen, and you can contribute to the show that way. We greatly, greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Thank y'all so much, most importantly, for tuning in. Please share the conversation as we continue to allow this I Say What I Said conversation to evolve. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, there is a great, great story. 19 black families taking on a huge swath of land in hopes of building a bit of a black utopia. We'll broach that conversation when we come back. This is I Say What I Said. Toussaint Warner, Herb Howard. We'll be right back.
The corporate boardroom. I've seen great success and walked many roads. I know how it feels not to have. I'm asking you to vote for me for U.S. Senate for the state of Illinois. I can do the work. that few others may not understand. A vote for me is a step in the right direction for our state and our country.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. People in Illinois have been crying out for justice, equality, and fairness from their government for years. And it keeps getting worse. Unfair taxes, laws that unjustly imprison nonviolent offenders. The rich get richer, and the everyday people suffer. It's time for a change, and with your help, I'm here to do it. I'm asking for your support as I run for a U.S. Senator in 2020.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Is it really a good idea to have the same senator for 3 generations? I support term limit for all elected officials. Our senators need to bring home growth for our business community, jobs, housing, service for our senior citizens, and health care. We need new ideas and new approach to federal representation. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington, D.C. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Facebook thing.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. We are back live from the Maysaid Studios here. What's in it for the Black People Media? I said what I said. Herb and Tool here with you for about another half hour or so. Thank y'all so very, very much for choosing to be a part of this conversation. It means the absolute world to us. Shout out to all the Wiz OGs. Everybody's been rocking what I said since day one. We greatly, greatly appreciate y'all and welcome. And a huge thanks to all of you all who may or may not be rocking with us for the very first time or just came over with us since we've been over here at What's in it for the Black People Media. Greatly, greatly appreciate y'all tuning in and contributing to the conversation. As always, your input is valued and appreciated. Oh my God!
Shout out to our brother Patah.
Oh my God! I saw the stars come in. We appreciate the stars, but of course, in Patah fashion, he says, "Here goes some Trump Nation 2020 gold stars, mofos."
Hey man, we love him regardless, man. We forgive him for what he not know. Yeah. Shout out to Patah.
Shout out to Patah. Absolutely, Wiz OG. We appreciate you, brother, for tuning in. Thank all of y'all for tuning in. If you have not done so, please take a quick moment to share the conversation. We want as many people as possible to be a part of this. Listen, a lot of people may say, "Oh, y'all just kind of preaching to the choir," and I understand what y'all saying on that, but I think there's extreme value in preaching to the choir. Most of us here are aware that there are some problems in our community, and in some way, shape, or form, almost all of us here are also actively engaged in overcoming those problems. That being said, it is imperative that those of us who are aware and engaged, we have to be on the same page so that we can kind of combat this thing. And once those of us who are aware and engaged are on the same page, then we can go at the other people who may either be aware and unengaged or completely unaware, right? We can take this information to the rest of the congregation after we have this conversation with the choir, but we need more people in the choir. So please, please, please share the conversation.
So, but check in. We just did an interview the other day, right, with another person just on some promotional stuff, right?
Yeah, shout out to Fox.
Shout out to Fox for that, right? One of the conversations was like, what prompted you all to do this? And even what you just saying, we preaching to the choir. I want us to stop saying that shit. I don't think so? I don't think our choir exists. Right? I really don't think our choir exists. I think we're building a choir because I think the real understanding of blackness in America is really underdeveloped. It's really unexplored, right? I think we define blackness in America through the lens of whiteness. I think we need to create a new lens. We're defining it as we go. We're in this very moment. We're defining what blackness really means, specifically American blackness, right? Which is why the creation of ADOS just happened in the last 3 years or so. Right, the American Descendants of Slavery is a push toward that understanding of black identity.
Okay,
right. We ain't figured that shit out. So the choir don't. The choir don't really exist. We're building the fucking choir.
We are building.
So this conversation is for everybody. This for everybody.
Us, y'all. We are building the choir.
We the thoughts of radio, baby. We for everybody. You understand me?
Radio thoughts. Intellectual thuggery at its finest, people. The blackest conversation in America. Y'all are tuned into it and y'all are helping to build the choir, as Tucson just said. And I happen to agree with that particular sentiment too. I think you're on point with that one. We are building the choir. So thank y'all so much for helping to build the choir. Two, you sent me an article. Opened it. It said 19 black families are
in Georgia.
Bought some land. 90 acres in Georgia.
I believe it was 90. I'm trying to find the article.
Think it was 90 acres in Georgia that 19 black families came together and bought some land. And they want to kind of build this black utopia. I don't know if they have something in mind like a Black Wall Street or just a safe haven from all of the caucasity that happens in other places across this country. And I think it's a brilliant idea. But you better be ready, willing, and able to defend it to the death. And there is that is where I find the value from my good brother Mike Brown, right? If you want to tune in to Mike Brown every Wednesday, 11 to 1 p.m. right here on What's in It for the Black People Media, Mike Brown Triggered, 11 to 1 p.m. every single Wednesday. I think there's value in that because we have to be prepared. We've built these utopias before, right? We've had these places. We've had these places before, but I think we underestimated the hate that was in the blood of the oppressor.
So I just pulled up the article. It says amid protest of over the police killings of several black men and women, a group of 19 black families has come together to purchase 96.76 acres of land in Toomsboro, Georgia. The group plans to build out a new city in that area. Ashley Scott of the Georgia-based realtor started the Freedom Georgia Initiative with a group of friends. Now, I don't know if you remember a couple of weeks ago we talked about the brother with the other Freedom Fund. What is his name? Jay Morrison.
Yes.
Right? He had the Tulsa Freedom Fund, right? And he's just been kind of exploited for basically taking advantage of black folks, right?
He's a fraud.
He's as being a fraud. So these families that bought the 96 acres of land, I'm not saying they're fraudulent. I'm not saying that at all. But again, I read the article. I think it's an interesting concept. And I want to support any black people that's moving toward finding the pathway through this horrifically oppressive system, specifically when you start thinking about in the context of community, right? They didn't just go buy this land themselves. They bought it with 19 other people. Contextually, that's about community no matter what, right? So they're trying to build something, and I always applaud that. But I think this is par for the course in understanding how the game works, right?
D.S. Bueller, I appreciate y'all.
One, you bought the shit in Toomsboro, Georgia. Well, Toomsboro, Georgia is a part of what? The United States of America. You understand what I'm saying? So unlike a Indian territory or something where they're actually been slated to have this land where they could create government on this land.
Sure.
You just owning these 19 Toomsboro acres don't make you the government.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's not how that works.
Right.
You're still gonna have to pay taxes to the government.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I don't know, and it might be different.
Still under the jurisdiction of.
You're still under the jurisdiction of government.
Right.
So now, and it works different ways, right? So I got offered to buy some land out here in Chicago Heights. It was between Chicago Heights and Fort Heights, and I learned something in that purchase. I didn't purchase it, but I learned something in that process.
Right.
It was called unincorporated Chicago Heights. So because this land was unincorporated, I had the right to build and do what the fuck I wanted to do outside of the purview of any of the legislation between Chicago Heights and Fort Heights. It was like a middle ground. It just, don't nobody really own this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the same kind of construct in Toomsboro. I don't know. But when you start talking about building schools, when you start talking about having police departments, when you start talking, who do you pay those taxes to?
Right.
Who's that? What government are you associating yourself? Even if you build your own government, right? Even if you say we're going to elect our own mayor of Toomsboro, and I don't know shit about Georgia, so I don't know if Toomsboro is a town that existed or they created. I don't know. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, those tax dollars go to the American government.
Absolutely.
Which goes back to the very definition and the understanding of legislation, policy, and American government and what is owed to us in the first fucking place. Why go create some new shit to pay the same goddamn oppressor to give back to us in the tax dollars? What do you already fucking owe us? This shit is illogical. We are building the choir. And I'm not knocking them. I get it. When you up against the wall, you try any motherfucking thing to get your back up off the motherfucking wall.
So you don't fuck with the idea of, taking a region. I heard the South. The region I've heard most suggested is the Southeast region for black people to go down there, and that becomes Black America, right?
And I'm with it, G. I believe that too. I think South is Black Mecca. I do. I think it has land. I think it has water ports. I think it opens up the door specifically in this era where you can get distribution through the internet, when you could build relationships across the goddamn seas, across oceans with a computer click. I think that's beautiful, right? Coffee is one of the biggest imports in America. It's one of the number one on the stock exchange, right? Well, a lot of goddamn coffee comes from Africa, right? So imagine creating trade lines from Africa, from Uganda or from Nigeria with coffee to Alabama, and then selling that shit to Starbucks, right? That industry alone could undergird a third of our population.
Devin says, or Devon says that the town already existed. Appreciate you so much. Another Izwiz OG coming through with the information as y'all always do. Listen, I kind of rock with the idea of, saying, okay, this is ours. We're going to take this plot of land and we're going to build it out to be what we want it to be. But it has to come with some autonomy, right? We have to be able to do whatever we want to do. It has to be sovereign, right? In a way that allows us to kind of control it in a real way, right? Control the schools, control the agriculture, every part that comes with that. But then what we also must be ready and willing and able to do is defend that thing, because they have shown us that they will come fuck that shit up. And now we're living in a way where America don't really like to fight no more, right? We talk about how these shorties don't fight on the street. Everybody just want to shoot shit up. America don't really want to fight no more either, right? We're going to send a drone from across the ocean and just blow up everything, right?
Still fighting.
Yeah.
Perspective might be different, but it's still fighting.
But what I'm saying is this here. Say we get the Southeast region, right? Say everything, south of Carolinas and east of, I don't know, Alabama or something, right? Now, I don't think it's beyond the scope of possibility that they'll bomb that shit. Like
They
airstrike the hell out of it.
They bombed Philadelphia. You think they won't bomb Georgia? They don't give a fuck about Georgia. You think they won't bomb that? I've never put anything past the white man.
But I'm saying especially.
They've shown they'll do anything to win.
Especially if we're all in the same place. They've never had a better opportunity before ever, right? There is a clip, and maybe we can find it before we get out of here. There's a clip of Dick Gregory. And he's talking about his relationship with Malcolm X and the conversation that he had with Malcolm X the day that Malcolm X died. And he said, listen, I love Malcolm. I knew Malcolm well. He said Malcolm X called him and said that he was about to go do this speech. And are you coming?
And Dick Gregory said no.
And Dick Gregory said, hell no.
Because they going to kill your ass.
They going to kill you. He said, I ain't giving him an opportunity to get both of us in the same room. Mm-hmm. He said, I'm going to Chicago. He said, I'm going to take it. I'm going to speak at some little college. He says, right next to the airport, because I'm only going there for a minute. I'm going to do it for way less than my normal rate, because I just want to get away from here, because they finna kill you today. He said, I did my speech, and I went back to my room and waited for them to come and tell me Malcolm was dead. And they came and told me, and I came on back to New York, right? If we all in the same space like that, are we sitting ducks? Is that like because clearly we aren't even if we arm ourselves and Mike Brown and everybody else like Mike Brown trains us all to be able to defend ourselves hand-to-hand combat or close-range combat, we ain't got no damn Air Force.
Well, see, I just don't operate in that space, though, Herb, right? So I think that space is representative of fear. Like, the what-if part of any conversation is fear. Mm-hmm. My mindset, and I'm not saying this is a healthy mindset. Sometimes I lose with this shit. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to jump. Okay. That's just my nature. Mm-hmm. I'm going to fucking jump. When I decide this is what I'm going to do, you best believe I'm going to do that shit. Mm-hmm. And ain't nobody going to stop me. I'm my worst enemy in that sense.
Oh, yeah, I'm very bullheaded and stubborn. I'm an Aries.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
I'm making my man, it's over.
Yeah, once I decide it's done, then it's been decided.
Right.
It is what it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? And who going to stop me? Mm-hmm. Who going to check me, boo?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
That's just kind of how I live my life, right?
Yeah.
And when I operate in the space of love and I know that these are the neighbors I want, if I decided that, then that's what it's going to be.
That's what it's gonna be.
And with the response to that, well, I'll deal with that when it's time to deal with that. Right, but I'm not saying that from the again. It's a nuance. It's always a nuanced conversation, right? I full out respect the 19 families that went and did this, because the thought process itself is beautiful. Mm-hmm. It is beautiful. Mm-hmm. But when I say that we are defining our choir, that's what I mean. Mm-hmm. What does it mean to be a legitimate citizen of America? What does it mean to be a legitimate citizen of America and to be denied citizenship? What does that mean? And how do you respond to it? Mm-hmm. What does that mean? Mm-hmm. How do you respond? Mm-hmm. Right? So here we are as citizens of this nation, looking for sovereign portions of this nation. Mm-hmm. That's insanity.
It is.
It's a value to citizenship, right? And we just haven't been able to reap the value of citizenship. Let's define what it means to be a citizen. And then you can say, motherfucker, because I'm a citizen, this is why you owe me, right? There's no wonder why the Democratic Party is making a push toward the Latino and Hispanic community, specifically the illegal immigrant portion of those communities, right? They're creating IDs in different communities. They're creating more pathways to legitimate citizenship, right? And I'm with all that. But understand why they're doing that, and that's what I mean. We're playing one side of the board. This is chess, right? We playing one part of the board, but we act as if our opponent ain't playing against us. And if he ain't up, he's up, and he's strategic than a motherfucker.
Right.
And we're just
and
playing.
He's still shooting.
And he's still shooting. We're just moving the pieces, right? So the reason they're offering the Hispanic and Latino communities identifications is because what? Some of them places they're talking about the opportunity to vote. If you can be clear about this. In regards to going into that goddamn ballot box, into that voting booth, right? There are only two nationalities of people on this goddamn
that
soil.
matter, right?
It's white folks and black folks. That's it, right? And at 12% of the population in America, even though it's a very small percentage, we dominate the Democratic vote.
Yeah.
We are the dominant party in that. We are the dominant demographic in that party.
They can't move without us.
They can't move without us.
I texted you the other night when I was watching the Versus battle. I've been watching the Versus battles, right? Swizz Beatz and Timbaland. Put that thing together, and there's the Versus battle, and they had Monica versus Brandy last Monday. You know they started that thing off? How they started it off?
With Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris came on there to speak and promo and sell herself as the VP candidate, and she had on a Howard shirt, right? She went all in.
And somebody hit me and said Joe Biden was in the comments.
Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This is I Say What I Said. His name is Tucson Warner. My name is Herb Howard.
Wearing your ass like breakaway basketball pants, boy. I swear to God, we goofy.
We will be, he said what he said.
Goofy as
We'll
shit.
be right back after this.
We ain't got no music. We need some
I'm
music.
Dr. Willie Wilson. And my life
Dr. Willie
has
Wilson.
gone from cotton field to corporate boardroom. I've seen great success and walked many roads. I know how it feels not to have. I'm asking you to vote
My
for
name
me
Dr. Willie Wilson.
for U.S. Senate for the state of Illinois. I can do the work that few others may not understand. A vote for me is a step in the right direction for our state and our country.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. People in Illinois have been crying out for justice, equality, and fairness from their government for years. And it keeps getting worse. Unfair taxes, laws that unjustly imprison nonviolent offenders. The rich get richer, and the everyday people suffer. It's time for a change, and with your help, I'm here to do it. I'm asking for your support as I run for a U.S. Senator in 2020.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Is it really a good idea to have the same senator for 3 generations? I support term limit for all elected officials. Our senators need to bring home growth for our business community, jobs, housing, service for our senior citizens, and health care. We need new ideas and new approach to federal representation. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington, D.C. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
This secure moment is brought to you by Secure Home and Automation, your premier authorized Bring security dealer. Home invasions occur every 23 seconds, fire every 85 seconds, and medical emergencies occur suddenly. In times like these, get secured home and automation and an affordable wireless home alarm system with professional monitoring. This includes fast emergencies response, free security analysis, free equipment, and free installation. A limited time offer, be proactive. Call today, don't delay. 708-251-5069. That's 708-251-5069. Call now, 708-251-5069. Or visit our website, securehomeandautomation.com. Secure Home and Automation, where your life safety is our priority. It brings authorized dealers. Certain restrictions apply.
We are back. We are live from the Maze Said Studios here. What's in it for the Black People Media? Live on the Maze Jackson Facebook page and live on YouTube. Thank each and every one of you all for tuning in. We cannot express how much it means to us. We greatly appreciate it. Please take a moment to share the conversation if you have not done so already. Also, if you are so inclined and able, Click on the gold star. You can contribute to the show that way as well. We greatly appreciate every single one of those. So please, if you are feeling so inclined to do so and able to do so, please click on the gold stars. We greatly appreciate it. What's in it for the Black People Media is going to change the way you see radio forever. That is because Tuesday, September 8th, Chicago Famous with Mike Love and Diz is joining What's in it for the Black People Media family. Tune in every day from 3 to 6 p.m. for Chicago Famous with Chicago radio legends Mike Love and Diz. They'll talk everything from music, entertainment, sports, politics, race, culture, and everything happening today. Plus, they'll take it back to the old school for some features and interviews that you love. That is right. It's Chicago Famous with Mike Love and Diz every weekday, 3 to 6 p.m. on What's in it for the Black People Media, Chicago Famous. Looking forward to hearing Mike Love and Diz on the radio next week. And they'll be following us up, so we always get a little chance to chop it up with them as well. If you want to chop it up with us before we get out of here, you can call in. The telephone number here is 872-259-7474, 872-259-7474. Someone is on the line right now. Caller, how are you?
Trump Nation, man.
Uh-oh. Showtime, why you ain't telling me this, Patai?
Hang up the phone.
What's up, good brother?
Hey, man, what up, man? What up, bro? I just put some mega stickers on your bike down there, so they can't come off either. Goddammit. You finna get eggs thrown at you all the way.
You finna get me jumped out here in these streets.
Patai, what's on your mind, good brother?
Hey, man, but serious, I know y'all got a lot of time, man. But look, man, I get tired of y'all. Not you, but the Negroes out here, black folks, whatever you want to call yourself, out here talking about Trump, a damn boogeyman. Look, I hear people saying Trump is the worst president ever. You mean to tell me that Donald Trump is worse than George W. Bush, a man that started a false war off a lie that killed millions of people, destroyed the nation of Iraq, assassinated their leader, you know what I'm saying, couldn't read a damn teleprompter no better than Donald Trump.
So, Patai, I only got 8 minutes, and I ain't going to spend it comparing devils, right? What's in it for the black people if Trump is reelected?
Man, you gonna keep getting money. That's what's in it. And if him being president don't
unite, that's a
prerequisite
people, to the word keep.
Hey man, Donald Trump about business, man. This man he went out and started no wars. He about money. I don't know where this coronavirus came from, but people trying to blame him for it. He shut the flight coming in from China down, and people was like, man, this motherfucker can't tell me what to do and can't tell me where to go. But now you got Joe Biden saying he would have did the same thing. That's just a bunch of hypocrisy, man. Our enemy is that person sitting down there in Springfield heading the Democratic Party and these bum Democrats in Chicago. That's our enemy.
Patai, gotta run, brother. Appreciate you so very much for checking in. As always, call back anytime. Thank you so much for continuing to rock with I Said What I Said. Patai certainly is Wiz OG, and we certainly appreciate it. He be riding for Trump hard, boy.
Hey, one thing Patai said, though, that is true, man, which is why, Joe Biden is not going to win, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And this is something we all got to, in context, we got to think about it from the vantage point of America, right? I always talk about capitalism and how it's really the very bane or the basis of where most of our problems come from, right? Racism and capitalism are intangibles, right? They are attached to each other. They are uniquely linked to each other, right? Mm-hmm. So where Biden might be beating Trump in every standard with the exception of the economy. And at the end of the day, therein lies the problem, right? I keep talking about how wealth is calcified. Mm-hmm. The middle class has been dissolved. That doesn't exist anymore. This is a bought and paid for as government. Mm-hmm. Even the fact that Biden is the candidate on the Democratic ticket is proof positive that this is a bought and paid for as government, right? Biden didn't lead in but one primary. He didn't win but one primary. Right, Kamala Harris, I don't even think she ever broke number 3. The candidate, if it was based on how democracy works, then Bernie Sanders would be our candidate. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So this ain't no fucking democracy. True. Stop fooling your fucking selves.
True.
Right? And what we got to understand is that both candidates are okay. Wall Street is okay with both candidates.
Yeah.
Which means that they don't lose. They're going to eat regardless.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this conversation right now is about equity for us. For us specifically, when we slated to be a zero net worth group by 2036. 16 years from now, we're supposed to have zero net worth, right? Mm-hmm. So in that regard, when we don't really look at the nuances or understand the in-depth understanding of how democracy works, or how this isn't a democracy, how it's kind of an oligarchy. It's the leading class that always kind of been the ruling class, and they're gonna keep ruling our asses because we don't understand how this shit works. You got to topple this goddamn government. If we're gonna operate under the auspices of what Amos Wilson says, he says in order to be a man, if you born in a war-torn society and an oppressive system, then you got to be a warrior and take over that goddamn system. Period.
Ain't no other way around.
Ain't no other way around. We talking about, we keep saying this dumbass shit. In my opinion, it's dumbass shit. The lesser of two evils. For us, there is no lesser.
Right.
It's no lesser. It's just always been evil.
Right.
Right. It's no lesser because there's no benefit from either party.
Right. I'm not trying to live within an evil, under an evil oppressor. I'm trying to live something else. I'm not trying to choose between either of these devils. I need something completely different. You have to be aware of who your enemies are. You have to be clear about that. And very few people have been more clear and willing to speak on that throughout our history than Dick Gregory. I mentioned a quick snippet about him speaking on the day that Malcolm X was assassinated. We're going to play that for you right now, then we'll close out.
They told us that Malcolm X's daughter, see, I don't deal in friendship. Did she do it or not? I deal in logic. Here's a woman here in New York City. She decides she's going to kill Farrakhan. She leaves New York where all the murderers are. They got people that have killed somebody just to practice, so they know they're going to kill somebody on July the 4th. They just want to practice. She leaves New York, all the murderers, and goes to Minnesota where they ain't even had a drive-by shooting. To hire a white boy to kill one of the most guarded brothers. A white boy.
So that's just a little bit of Dick Gregory talking in a way that only Dick Gregory can. I wanted to really get to the piece where he was really speaking about the day that Malcolm X was assassinated and the conversation that he had with him leading up to that. I didn't have it queued up at the exact right spot, and that's on me, Showtime. I'm my bad for not having the exact moment on that. But I will play that for you one day in the future. Probably on Friday we'll get that play for you because I thought it was really, really powerful just to understand how Dick Gregory was very, very aware, right, of exactly what was going on and exactly who we are dealing with in terms of our enemies and the length that they're willing to go to bring about our demise. And I think that once you're very, very clear on that, it should then motivate you to move in a different way. It should then cause you to kind of view this thing through a different lens to say, we aren't going to find a peaceful way through this thing. We aren't going to find this happy-go-lucky way. They aren't going to just wake up one day and be like, you know what? We've been treating y'all wrong for 400 years. We're real, real sorry about that. We're going to switch that up now. We're going to treat y'all a lot better. That day's not coming. And to think that day is coming is foolish. And to be honest with you, it's negligent, right? It's very, very negligent. And to think that, you know what, we're going to vote our way out of it. If we can just get enough Democrats in power, right? And I'm not saying that I'm not a Democrat or I'm not Republican. I'm none of that shit, right? Tell me what we're arguing about, and then I'll tell you what side of the argument we're on, right? I'm not going to pick a side just because, right? So I'm not bashing the Democrats. I'm not supporting the Republicans. Tell me what the issue is, and I'll tell you what side of it I'm on. But what I am saying is this idea that we're going to get enough Democrats in that's all of a sudden going to miraculously change the circumstance for black people, that's bullshit, people. It's not real. We got about 30 seconds, man. Any closing remarks from you?
Today we started a format. We planned out a format how we're going to run the show maybe a week ago. Right, and then you went to D.C., and then Celine came in. We had a few guests, and it really didn't pan out the way we expected to run it. But one of the things I do want to do is get back to the original construct of the format that we had planned out.
Yeah.
Because I think in that construct, it does create a more in-depth understanding of our positioning in America, and it gives from an understanding of that position, it allows us to create a strategy and how to go forward and attack our positioning. Right, to create. Once we create that wealth of understanding, we can create actionable steps to go to a solution. So in that vein, man, one of the things I want to get back to, one of the things we was going to talk about was like healing the black family via relationships. We're going to talk about that on Fridays, specifically in the context of, male-female relationships. So I think we should try to stick to that code and get back into that on Friday if we can.
You want to put together some more shows live on the radio right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Listen, man, his name is Tucson Warner. My name is Herb Powder. I want to thank each and every one of you all for tuning in. We greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate you all. Thank you all for sharing it. Thank you all for being a part of it. Thank you all for contributing with the Gold Stars. We truly, truly appreciate it. Cannot express that enough. Listen, for Tucson Warner and for the best board op in the business, Mr. Showtime himself, and Queen back there doing what she does,
Greatest
producing.
producer on earth.
Shout out to Miss Escobar doing what
Esco,
she
let's
does
go.
better than anybody else. My name is Herb Howard. Until next time, y'all.